Hello, welcome to Ray Fisher Stadium. We are broadcasting live. Momentarily, the Michigan Wolverines baseball team will be taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes in Game 2 of a weekend series. Yesterday's game was won by the Buckeyes. It was pretty neck and neck until the fifth inning when Ohio State broke away and ended up winning with a score of 7-4. Michigan, despite a late ninth inning rally, unable to mount a comeback, and Ohio State walked away with that win. It had a lot of implications in the Big Ten standing race. Ohio State, they have a 5-game winning streak at the moment. They swept a 4-game series against the then top of the Big Ten Indiana Hoosiers and then won the first game against Michigan. So now both Michigan and Ohio State are at 13-7 on the season and are tied at second place in the Big Ten standings. As we looked up earlier for you guys, the tiebreaker is head-to-head. So at the moment, Ohio State would hold the tiebreaker for that 2 seed in the Big Ten standings. But we have 2 more games ahead of you in this weekend series. Today's game was originally scheduled to start at 2 p.m. However, due to the weather forecast, they pushed it ahead. And I'm checking my phone now. I don't even think it's supposed to rain until really late today. So that might have been for nothing. But it's always nice to have a game start a little bit earlier. And I guess it's supposed to start around 5 or so. So maybe that was a good call. How are you doing today, Zach?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Adam. I'm excited to watch some Michigan baseball and join you in the booth. As you were saying, this series is pretty important for Michigan, or these next 2 games, I should say, after that opening game loss to the Buckeyes yesterday, because you were saying that the tiebreaker is the head-to-head record, and in a normal season, as we were talking about earlier, there would be 2 series per season, but due to the COVID shortened season, or the pandemic and not wanting to travel, these teams will only play 1 series this season, and so the next 2 games will be very important for Michigan to win to get that tiebreaker over Ohio State as they share the same record.
Exactly. Uh, so a win today would put either team ahead in the standings. But with that, we're about to begin. Leading off once again is Sam Wilson for the Buckeyes. And pitch 1 is hit right up the middle to second base. Michigan has no trouble fielding it and throwing to first. For 1 pitch and 1 out, we couldn't even introduce the teams yet. Sam Wilson is already grounded out. That pitch, Cam Weston is throwing for Michigan. That was just a grounder, tipped off his glove at pitcher, but Michigan's second baseman Riley Bertram had no trouble fielding it and throwing it over to Jimmy Obertop at first base. So 1 pitch down and 1 out. Oakley at the plate for the Buckeyes. First pitch is in for a called strike right on the outside of the plate.
Fortunate for Michigan that they were able to get that out after the tipped ground ball off the glove, as with the shift, you don't really know where the players are going to be behind the pitcher.
Absolutely. Second pitch is fouled off and hit to the right side, right by the Buckeyes dugout. One thing to keep an eye on, or I guess we'll keep an eye on for you as a radio voice, is the wind today. Because yesterday it was really windy. Here's the windup and the pitch, and this was a bit high and outside. It is 1-2. But yesterday's wind was blowing really hard, coming in from left field towards first base, and it kept a couple of balls in the stadium that probably would have been gone on a day like today when there's no wind so far. Pitches in, and this is outside as well, 2-2.
And we saw the effect of no wind pretty early in batting practice with some balls flying out of the park on the Ohio State side, namely Zach DeZenzo, who's on deck.
DeZinzo has been one of the best hitters on this Ohio State Buckeyes team. Pitches in and fouled off into the backstop. It remains 2-2 for Mitchell Oakley. And Weston, he is continuing to throw into the high 80s, according to the radar gun in the stadium. I'm always impressed how precise it is. It goes to the 100th place uh, for decimals. Here's the windup and the pitch. Another fouled one off right into the backstop once again. So it's still 2-2, but already racking up the pitch count just on the second batter. I guess it almost evens out for that very first batter, Weston, who just grounded out on the very first pitch.
Oakley, I should say, really making Weston work, and he's right on it, just fouling these pitches right back into the netting.
Yeah, and this one was low and outside, so we're finally up to a full count. Oakley has really worked hard to get here, fouling them off back into the netting or into the side of the stadium. The windup is awaiting us. Here it comes, and this was a bit high and outside. The umpire's not going to call it. And Mitchell Oakley is going to take first base as Zach DeZinzo comes to the plate, batting .307 on the season. He is looking to maybe get a first inning rally going, get some points on the board early for the Buckeyes.
DeZenzo is Ohio State's second leading batter in batting average, right behind the freshman Kern, who's hitting fourth. So going to be tough for Weston with these 3-4 hitters coming up.
Absolutely. First pitch in for a called strike right down the pipe.
Attacking him early, getting ahead in the count is really vital here. As with the runner on first base, you don't want to even think about having first and second with the best Ohio State batter up in the box.
And second pitch is hit on right up the middle beyond the reaching hands by Riley Bertram, and it goes into the outfield for a single. There was a shift because Bertram was covering in case of a steal, so he was positioned perfectly, just couldn't field it cleanly. It kind of went right by him. I'm curious if they'll call that an error or not. Probably not, because I don't think it touched him, but it was right in the right positioning to recover that. But quickly, with one out, 2 runners on base for the Buckeyes, with the cleanup hitter, Cade Kern, up at the plate. He had some monster hits yesterday and a couple blasts that just barely stayed in the park. Here's the pitch, and this is low and inside for a ball, 1-0. And Ohio State, they're not much of a power-hitting team this season. They really seem to thrive on these singles and doubles that they string together to get rallies going, get some walks, produce some runs. Second pitch is in, and a grounder right up the middle, recovered for 1 out, thrown to first for the second one. Riley Bertram turns 2 on that play with a 4-3 double play to close out the first inning. After 1 hit and 2 runners left on base and no runs, Michigan gets out of that early jam in the top of the first inning. The score is 0-0.
Cam Weston getting a lot of ground balls in that first inning, one being a hit and one being that double play. He is more of a contact pitcher, I would say, with less than 8 strikeouts, around 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. That would be pretty good, but compared to the Ohio State pitcher that we have today, it pales in comparison, as Lonsway for Ohio State averages just over 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. Crazy impressive for the Ohio State pitcher, and Michigan is going to have to try to get ahead in the count so that Lonsway pitches to them and then they can make some contact.
Exactly. And Michigan is had a lot of question marks this season with the batting order. Head coach Eric Bakich has liked to try a handful of players at leadoff, and he never seems to be satisfied with that. Let's see who they'll go with today. The lineup is Jordan Rogers, then Molfetta, Griffin Mazur, Jimmy Obertop, Ted Burden, Benjamin Sims, Tito Flores, Danny Zimmerman, and then Riley Bertram at ninth. And a player to keep an eye on is Tito Flores. He went 3 for 3 yesterday, including 4 RBIs, a home run. Every single hit he got yesterday was an RBI. He had 2 one RBI singles, and then a 2-run home run as well. And then he had a walk in the ninth inning. It really looked like Michigan might get a rally going off of that, but a double play really ended that spark of momentum they had, and Ohio State was able to walk away with the win.
Interesting strategy for the Michigan baseball team here. Looking at this lineup and combating the strikeout prowess of Seth Lonsway, the pitcher from Ohio State. He's a lefty, and the Michigan lineup comprises of all righties except for one lefty. In the middle there at 6, slotting in is Benjamin Sims. So a lot of righties in the Michigan lineup today.
And the first pitch thrown by Lonsway is a called strike for Jordan Rogers. Second pitch, the windup and low for a ball, 1-1. Almost skipped into the plate. It was right down at the ankles. Third pitch is in, and this is fouled off into the parking lot on the first base side right by Ferry Field. Ferry Field has a lot of history in the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. It is where Jesse Owens, as a Buckeye runner, set several world records. And third pitch is a ball. It is 2-2. Fourth pitch, excuse me. Jordan Rogers with a .267 batting average. Ground up the middle, fielded by Ohio State second baseman, but not in time. Jordan Rogers showcasing his speed and grounding that one out for an infield single. Bauer, he had a slide just to stop it from getting into the outfield, and by the time he was up on his feet, the throw was too late. So now Molfetta is up, and he will look to get a spark in this first inning and potentially get Rogers scoring or advancing him on the base path. I'll be intrigued to see what Rogers tries to do on the base path. First pitch is in for a ball a little bit low. We mentioned in the pregame, we were discussing this about Ohio State Buckeyes' woes with throwing runners out. Entering this season, they were 40 for 41 on allowing steals. They only got one guy caught stealing all season. But just yesterday, they caught one of Michigan guys, too, which speaks a lot of Michigan's base running. Second pitch is in for another ball. Michigan's base running, they had a caught stealing and then 2 guys picked off yesterday. So not a good game on the base path for the Wolverines. Let's see if they make any adjustments, whether they're more or less aggressive today. At the moment, Rogers is really dancing at first base, and it's thrown, attempted pickoff, not even close. He was a step or two ahead of it. And Rogers has 4 stolen bases on the season, but he also has been caught twice. So he likes to steal, but he's not quite always successful when he does. Pitches in, and this is low, and it gets behind the catcher, and Rogers goes, and he'll be up safely at second. That rolled all the way to the backstop, as Rogers is now out of harm's way, not in a force out anymore, as he is in scoring position with a 3-0 count for Christian Molfetta.
And they've still got a really heavy shift. I was thinking it was a double play depth, but they've got Bauer playing right to the right of second base, so pretty much the entire right side of the infield is wide open.
Exactly. Here comes a pitch, and this is right down the middle. I'm sure he would have liked to seen that one again. It is 3-0. I know it's kind of superstitious to swing on that, but if it's a good pitch, you might as well take a whack at it.
As a .333 hitter and the second leading batter on this Michigan team, I would think that he would have the green light, but early in the game with a runner in scoring position, don't want to risk anything there.
Absolutely, and The pitcher steps off the rubber, Lansway. He seems to be a little bit preoccupied, a little bit focused on the batter or on the base runner. Kind of taken away from Molfetta's appearance at the plate. Here's a windup, and it's thrown, and a swing and a miss. I believe a foul tip is what the umpire called, but caught regardless by the catcher, and it's going to make the count full.
Two batters.
Yesterday, Ohio State's starting pitcher was really focused on base runners. He'd pick off 5 or 6 times per at-bat. And this one is in, and it's strike 3. Wow, Molfetta already tossed his bat, started trotting over to first base when he got rung up by the home plate umpire. 1 out with 1 runner on second. Michigan with a costly strikeout right there. Griffin Mazur is up.
And that's a strikeout that we come to expect from Seth Lonsway, the pitcher from Ohio State. Both batters that he faced today have had 2 strike counts, with Rogers getting the single up the middle and then Molfetta striking out looking.
And with that, Lonsway steps off the rubber and fakes a throw back to second just to keep Rogers honest. It was only a step or 2 off, so not even going that much. Second baseman Bauer is kind of trailing behind him in case a pickoff comes his way. Inching towards the base. Here's a pitch. This one is in right down the pipe. A 88-mile-per-hour pitch for a 0-1 count for Mazur. Staring down, the catcher trying to get the sign. Lonsway goes up into the windup, throws it towards home plate, and that's going to be a high strike. Quickly, an 0-2 count for Mazur. Michigan's number 3 batter is deeply in a pitcher's count, quickly in a pitcher's count right now. He looks for anything just to advance Rogers, anything besides a strikeout. Rogers dancing on the base path, pitches in, swing and a miss, bounces, however, and he'll throw it down to first for the out. So that will be the second out, and it will be a strikeout, but it was a drop third, so Brookman did have to throw towards first base to Pole and easily got the out there. But sometimes in plays like that, you see the base runners try to mess around, and Brookman had to take a look at second just to keep Rogers from going as Obertop comes to the plate for the Wolverines with 2 outs. Pitches in, and a slow one just barely misses for ball 1.
Obertop leading the Wolverines in RBI this season with 20. Looking to get another one right here with Rogers on second base with 2 outs.
Absolutely. Obertop's been the power hitter of the team. This one's fouled off deep behind the backstop. And Obertop, he has 8 home runs, 20 RBIs, 19 hits. Very solid stat line. He has shown he could rake, including that walk-off earlier this season against Michigan State. Rogers extending his lead a bit, pitches in, and this one is in for a called strike, 1-2. A bit high, but Obertop has quite a large strike zone, so it just barely squeezed its way in.
Here we are with another 2-strike count. Each of the 4 batters that Lonsway has faced have gotten to 2 strikes.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and it is caught for strike 3. So 3 outs, 3 strikeouts for Lonsway. 1 runner stranded, 1 hit in that inning, no runs. And with that, at the end of the first inning, it is 0-0. In this beautiful, beautiful afternoon game, originally scheduled for first pitch at 2, it was moved up to maybe beat the weather. And they could not have asked for a better start time. It is 70 degrees in Ann Arbor right now. Supposed to get up to 75 before the rain comes in at about 5 p.m. today.
Michigan unable to capitalize on Rogers being on second base with nobody out, starting the inning with a man on second, nobody out with the 2, 3, and 4 hitters up. It's something you need there is situational hitting. And what I saw was a second baseman on Ohio State standing behind second base and shifting to the left side for every single batter that inning. So just even a ground ball to the right side would pretty much score that run as the right fielder was playing pretty deep.
Exactly. And a lot of fans out here today, too. It's only, as a reminder, family of the players, but it's still got a pretty solid turnout. If I had to estimate, probably about 75 or 100 or so fans. A lot of fans from Columbus came up, too. Probably comparatively, this is probably their closest road opponent. Maybe Bloomington, depending on the traffic. But for fans, when they only play a handful of games this season, the parents would love any opportunity to see their children play, their sons play. And the Big Ten, they did announce that they would allow teams to let the general public in games, but Michigan has yet to allow teams to play. And with that, Connor Pohl comes to the plate with Cam Weston still pitching his 1 walk and 0 strikeouts so far, but got the job done last inning. First pitch in, swing and a miss. That's going to be strike 1. Connor Pohl looking to get a leadoff hit. Second pitch is in, and this one's a bit too low and away. It's going to be 1-1. Third pitch is awaiting us. And this is a check swing, and third base umpire said he went. That's going to be strike 2.
Michigan will take the call, but from my angle, it did not look like he went. But obviously the third base umpire has a much better angle than I do from just to the left of behind home plate.
I agree. It looked like he might have checked that swing, at least from our angle on the right side of the press box, or left side of the press box. Pitches in low, and it rolls to the backstop. No base runners to worry about, however. So it's going to go up to 2-2.
Connor Pohl with just about as many strikeouts as hits this season. He's hitting .211 with 14 strikeouts and 15 hits. Michigan looking to even up that number here, and they do so.
And with that, strike 3. And first strikeout for Cam Weston all day right there as he sends Pohl back to the dugout with Colton Bauer coming up. And the wind is starting to pick up a little bit. Certainly not as heavy as it was at times yesterday, but a slight breeze from left field to right field coming on in. There's a pitch and a swing and a miss. Strike 1 for Colton Bauer. Cam Weston, he seems to be in his zone at the moment. Here's the windup and the pitch. This one is a called strike, a little bit high, but just barely finds the zone. And with that, Bauer's quickly behind 0-2, and with 1 out in the second inning. And this one's high and outside. Michigan's catcher had to get up from his crouch just to catch it. And the windup is awaiting us. Here it comes and bounces, skips on its way to home plate. And beginning with a 2-0 count, now Bauer surrenders two straight balls.
Yeah, starting up the count 0-2, uh, Weston, excuse me, had a lot of wiggle room and wanted to get Bauer to chase a little bit, and so he threw a ball high, threw a ball low. And now Goldilocks is going to get perfect strike here right in the middle as Michigan is hoping for another strikeout.
Yeah, this would be the second straight strikeout. Here's the pitch. Down the middle, but a bit low. And that'll be a full count now. And the umpire's pointing over to the batter on deck, believe asking him to get back into the on-deck circle. He was a bit outside of it. Brookman is up next. Here's the pitch on the full count, and it's fouled off onto the first base side, well out of play. Fisher Stadium, one of the key quirks of it is it doesn't have very much foul territory. Right down the lines on both sides, it has only about 5 or 6 feet of territory down each line. So unless it's very close, you won't likely get a pop fly. It'll be out of play. And this one is grounded up towards the shortstop Sims. He throws to first just barely in time to Obertop for the second out of the inning. Bauer was barreling down the first base line, but couldn't quite get there in time. So the second out is the catcher Archer Brookman is up, and he did not play yesterday, but he doesn't. He has a very low batting average, .053 on the season. First pitch is in for a swinging strike and missed. 0-1 with 2 outs for Cam Weston.
As you say, he's hitting .053 with 7 strikeouts to only 1 hit on the year.
Second pitch is in for 0-2, and it looks like he is very close to getting that 8th strikeout.
There's a stark contrast in this Ohio State batting lineup from the first 4 batters to the last 5. The first 4 with 2 guys hitting above 300, and the last 5, a few hitting below 100.
And third pitch is in for a called strike. 3 straight pitches, 3 straight strikes for Archer Brookman as he goes back to the bench. And with that, 2 strikeouts in that inning, no hits. Very solid from Cam Weston. The sophomore from Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania. He has had a decent season so far. He's 3-1 in terms of decisions, so 3 wins, 1 loss. His only loss came in his first start of the season against Iowa. But since then, he's been pretty solid, including a fantastic game where he went 8 innings against Illinois. And he only gave up 4 hits and 1 run in that game. He's lucky he got the win when they played at Penn State. He went 7 innings and gave up 4 earned runs. But Michigan's offense was able to provide enough run support to give him that win. And with that, Michigan will return back to the plate with Burden leading off for the Wolverines in this second inning. But you mentioned that contrast, and you're absolutely right. The first 5 or so batters have solid contact statistics, while the bottom half of the lineup has really struggled, has racked up some strikeouts this season. But you mentioned that, and statistically it's sound, but yesterday's game, the rally that eventually ended up being the go-ahead runs, the game-winning runs, was started by that bottom of the lineup. And that's when they really found Hajar and started to rock him, was the bottom of the lineup. So even though on a season-long scale, they might not be the most consistent, they do have moments. And first pitch is in to Burton. It's a bit high for ball 1. as Lansway is looking to continue after that first inning. Second pitch is high for a second ball, 2-0. Lansway had 3 strikeouts in that first inning, so he is still on record, on pace to potentially get 27. This one's in for a called strike, low and inside. 2-1 at the moment.
Lonsway not afraid to attack the batters. He is behind in the count against Burton. See if Burton can take advantage.
Pitch is in, and it's hit, and it's high and not too deep. Kern is in center field, gets under it, tracks it down for the catch, and it'll be 1 out. So first out so far today from Ohio State. That hasn't been a strikeout, but I don't think they're complaining.
I don't think there are going to be 27 strikeouts in this game for Lonsway anymore.
Yeah. You never know. Could go into extras, and they keep it in. It is 1 out in the bottom of the second. 1 hit apiece for each team.
The exit velocity, they show that on the scoreboard. On that Burton flyout, it's pretty high, 97 miles per hour.
Yeah, that was a monster hit. First pitch is in for a ball. Second one fouled off towards Yost on the third base parking lot.
As you said before, not a lot of real estate in foul territory, and it goes straight into the parking lots most of the time on those foul balls, hitting cars.
This one is hit and in the gap in the right between the shortstop and third baseman, and Sims rounds first and will retreat back to the base for a long single. DeZinzo was diving to get to it, but just couldn't reach it in time. As Tito Flores takes the plate, he had a career day yesterday. 3 hits, including a 2-run home run, 4 RBIs. And he single-handedly, he got all 4 RBIs in the game. It was all him. He's at the plate looking to repeat.
Well-struck single, another 97-mile-per-hour contact.
Pitch is in, a changeup and a called strike on the inside corner. Sims is at first, but he doesn't seem to be too aggressive. He has yet to attempt to steal all season. Maybe today's the day he changes that. And pickoff attempt towards first. Lansway guns it to pole, but it's not in time. Next pitch is coming up. 1-0 or 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. So it's 0-2 now for Tito Flores, quickly behind in the count. And Tito Flores steps out of the box, motions over to his batting coach in the dugout, changes some words, and steps back in. Lansway running on the pitch, and it looks like it's a ball, and he'll be in for his first stolen base of the season as Sims. So with 1 out, it's now 1-2, and that ball was really inside. It looked like it might hit the batter even, hit Flores, but just barely misses his feet low and away, but certainly enough to give Sims, and that might be a wild pitch and not even a stolen base. Swing and a miss for Flores. That's strike 3. 4th strikeout of the game. That's 2 outs now. And with that, coming up to the plate is Danny Zimmerman. Hasn't had a ton of at-bats this season so far, but he's batting a respectable .235. And he has 1 home run and 1 double on 4 hits. So half of his hits are extra base hits. And Lansway, kind of with the odd pickoff move, the southpaw kind of twisted himself and likely could have caught Sims napping if the second baseman Bauer were in position at second base to pick him off. Here comes a pitch. Low and inside, bounces and gets away from the catcher, but Sims has nowhere to go, stays at second base.
Again, Ohio State really shifting with these Michigan batters. The second baseman Bauer is holding Sims on second base, not getting back into the normal second base position after the pitch.
And this one is hit, and it's a blooper right down the third base line. Barely goes foul. Rolling foul. Zip for Zimmerman. Now it is 1-1 with 2 outs. And Sims is looking to try and score on this. Any hit to the outfield would likely bring him around. Here's the pitch. This one is in for a ball. It's 2-1 now, as Zimmerman is really lengthening this at bat, aided by Lansway's several pickoff attempts. Sims is he's extending his lead. He started off only a couple steps, but now he's about a quarter of the way down the base path. Here comes a pitch. High. It'll be ball 3 for Danny Zimmerman. That pitch was a changeup, 80 miles per hour. Not as much zip as some of his balls have had.
Your Ohio State a walk is not the worst thing in the world. Getting another force play, and also number 9 batter Riley Zimmerman at the plate.
And pitches in, swing and a miss. It'll be a full count. Absolutely. Walk isn't terrible, but you might as well get the strikeout if you can get out of this jam. 4 strikeouts already this game on 5 total outs. Here comes a windup from Lansway. Motion towards second and throws it deep into outfield. Wow. If Sims hadn't dived back face first, he probably could have taken third.
That had to have been 10 feet over the head of Bauer, the second baseman.
He could have had him if that throw were on point. That just went nowhere. It was like he was throwing to the center fielder almost. When I was in high school, my team had a trick play where you'd throw over on purpose, but I don't think that was what was going on. Pitches in, and it's high for ball 4, and it will now put a runner on first and second, so now any square base is a force out. Obviously, they wanted that strikeout, but as you mentioned, it could have been worse with a hit there. At least there's now a force out at any square base. It should be easy-ish to get out of this jam, especially with Riley Bertram batting 170. He has the lowest batting average of all starters today. He's the 9th hitter. Fantastic in the field, but far from the best player in the batter's box on the Wolverines. There's a windup in the pitch, swung on and hit toward shortstop. Diving as DeZenzo can't get to it. 1 run will come around. And stopping at third base is Zimmerman. Runners on the corner, and we got an RBI single to give Michigan their first run of the game from Riley Bertram. That's only his 3rd RBI of the season right there. And he comes in clutch with now runners on the corners.
You can call that the reverse jinx from the announcers, with Riley Bertram coming through, even though he's hitting 170 and hitting 9th in this order, getting an RBI for Michigan.
Catcher steps out for a moment to motion to his infield what to do if Bertram ends up stealing. He has 0 stolen base attempts this season. And a pretty big shift employed. Second baseman Bauer is almost at second base, while DeZenzo's about halfway between second and third. Shift towards the left side of the field for Jordan Rogers. First pitch is in, breaking ball, swung and a miss. 81 miles per hour.
I would really love if Michigan would just hit it on the right side of the infield, because there's such a wide, gaping hole for every single batter. Ohio State is just shifting for everyone. It's not even like it's an individual shift for the certain batter.
And a pickoff attempt to first base, but Bertram takes second. And with that, Michigan basically got a free advancement there, and makes first base the only force out.
While Lonsway is a great pitcher going to the plate with a bunch of strikeouts, he's really struggling with the pickoffs as he overthrew Bauer at second, and then that throw was in the dirt to Pohl, the first baseman.
Pitches in, and this is a bit high. It's now 1-1. And that's heads-up base running from Bertram. He had a bit long of a lead, and he got a pickoff attempt, but he just took off towards second.
Would have been a close play if that was a good pickoff throw to the first baseman. But as you said, Bertram heads up play going on first move and was able to get in there easily with the poor throw.
And this pitch is in and it bounces to the catcher, barely saves it, and likely saves a run. That would have got him behind him. I would imagine Zimmerman would have been safe at home for the second run of the game. Jordan Rogers is milking out this at-bat. It's 2-1. Here's the pitch. A bit high, 3-1. Rogers is one ball away from loading the bases with a walk. And Michigan is really barking early in this game. Already one run on the board, 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Here comes the pitch. Inside to load the bases for ball 4. Rogers takes first base on a walk. Rogers, he was 1 for 1 today with a single in the first, and now he gets on in the second with a walk. And Molfetta is up. He got a strikeout looking, one of the 3 strikeouts in the first inning. And we already have the Ohio State manager coming out from the dugout to speak to Lonsway. I'm curious if he'll make a change this early in the game. I don't seem to see anyone warming up in the Ohio State bullpen.
No, nobody's warming up. I think he's just trying to settle him down. The bottom half of the Michigan lineup, as you said yesterday, the bottom half of the Ohio State lineup was the one that got the rally going. And here with Michigan, the bottom half of their lineup is are the ones on the bases right now, with the number 2 batter Molfetta at the plate.
Exactly, and Greg Beals, the head coach, he returns back to the dugout. Will give Lonsway another chance. Maybe just trying to tell him to calm down a little bit, especially early in the game. That's sometimes what's needed.
Greg Beals with a Michigan connection. His daughter, Amber Beals, is actually on the volleyball team here.
Oh, I knew Amber Beals. I did not know that was his daughter. Swing and a miss, and that'll be strike 1 for Molfetta. That ball bounced on in. And the umpire is going to come out and hand deliver the ball to the pitcher, Lonsway.
Not too confident in his arm, I see, the umpire.
As that would be my greatest fear as an umpire, either missing a key call, especially for like a perfect game, just yeeting it over the pitcher's head and throwing it down to him. Pitch comes in, and this one is a ball. Checking his swing is Christian Molfetta. And this is Greg Beals, his 11th season for Ohio State. Next pitch is in for an inside ball. It is now 2-1 for Molfetta with the bases loaded. Any instance, regardless, will either score a run or in the inning here with 2 outs. Comes the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 2. That was a fastball with 93 miles per hour. Had a lot of zip to it, and Molfetta was a split second behind it. Looking down the catcher, here comes a windup. Swing and a miss. And that'll be strike 3. Getting out of the jam is Lonsway. to get his 5th strikeout of the game, despite loading the bases. 1 run on 2 hits and 3 runners left on base after the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Lonsway doing what he does best with 3 strikeouts in that first inning and 2 more in that second. Did allow a run though, and so it's kind of in line with his season. He had just a tick under a 4 ERA, but as I said earlier, averaging just over 14 strikeouts per 9 innings.
And we would like to thank everyone spending their Saturday afternoon tuning into WCBN. We are also being simulcast both on YouTube and BTN Plus. So thank you to both our viewers and listeners today. It's a beautiful day here in Washtenaw County. At least so far, it's supposed to thunder this evening, but we'll take it while we can. Looking around the Big Ten, it's a pretty neck-and-neck race for the standings at the top. Nebraska at 14-5 is in the top spot of the conference, and Michigan and Ohio State are tied at 13-7 apiece, but the momentums of the two teams are pretty divergent. Michigan is has a 2-game losing streak coming into today's matchup, while Ohio State has a 5-game winning streak. Then following them is Indiana, who is at the top of the Big Ten prior to their 4-game series where they got swept by Ohio State last weekend. Then comes up is Northwestern. You mentioned a buddy who is on that team who won Big Ten Player of the Week several weeks ago. They're at 11-8. Iowa at 10-9. Michigan State 10-10. Rutgers, Maryland, Illinois, Penn State, Purdue, and then Minnesota rounding out the Big Ten standings.
Cam Weston trying to build on that last inning in which he had 2 strikeouts. Starts off with a strike call here to left fielder Kaiser, on Ohio State. Kaiser without a hit on the year. He's got 3 strikeouts and a walk. So not many plate appearances for him. And Weston wanted that call but didn't get it. A little off outside. It's going to be 1-1 the count.
Kaiser has yet to record a hit this season.
Another ball coming from Weston, a little up near the eyes, actually, of Kaiser, coming with a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. It's going to be 2-1 the count. Weston's got to take advantage of the bottom half of this Ohio State lineup as Kaiser tried to check his swing but did not. That's going to be a 2-2 count as it's 8-9-1 for Ohio State in this half inning. Kaiser, Irwin, and then back to the top of the order with Wilson. Weston's as I said, got to take advantage of the bottom half of this order. As we mentioned before, very big difference between the bottom half and the top half when it comes to their batting averages.
Absolutely. It's night and day pretty much from the top 5 and the bottom 4 on Ohio State.
Weston coming in and strikes out Kaiser. And there's strikeout number 3 for Weston and out number 1 in the top of this 3rd inning.
Yeah, and it looks like Weston is using this opportunity to really find his groove, racking up 2 strikeouts last inning and already 1 in the 3rd.
If he can keep that rolling and keep that momentum going into facing the top half of the order, that would be big for Michigan's chances in this game. As he winds up and throws, the first pitch is an 81-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch, is a strike to Nick Irwin. Make that an 0-1 count. Weston with another pitch, and it's off the plate, but it's a swing by Nick Irwin, and it's going to be an 0-2 count. Quick, 2 strikes from Weston.
And Weston is being quite efficient, too. Not throwing too many balls this game.
Weston winds up and deals, but it is a high and inside ball. Trying to throw the high cheese to Nick Irwin there. And Irwin lays off to count 1-2.
He did. He wanted to go for it. You could see him check it, but he was quite enticed.
And he swings, ground ball to third baseman, but they're going to call that foul just to the left of third base. Count remains 1-2. Irwin at the bottom of this lineup is one of the guys that actually plays pretty often, as he has a good amount of plate appearances. He has 13 hits on the year, yet is only hitting .213.
Yeah, that might be some of the issue with the low batting average for Ohio State. They don't they kind of rotate the guys in, platoon them in. Haven't had a huge sample size.
And that last pitch was a ball. Weston wanted to call it a strike, obviously, but he was unhappy with it, walking around the mound and got the ball back from the catcher. It's a 2-2 count now coming to Nick Irwin. And Irwin holds off on Lit and looks at the call, third strike, as Weston is strutting around the mound waiting for that ball as he gets the second strikeout of the inning. 2 outs, and now we're going to go to the top of the Ohio State batting order.
Sam Wilson, 241, but 0 for 1 today. In the first inning, he had a ground out.
Wilson, the senior, as you said, got that ground out as Weston deals, and it's a ball on the outside part of the plate. Wilson had that ground ball off the glove of Weston, but the second baseman was there to get the ricochet. And that's a strike from Weston. 92-mile-per-hour fastball on the lower end of the plate. And it is a 1-1 count. Weston still dealing as we go to the top half of the order. Ball inside from Weston as he tried to go with the off-speed pitch and just sneak that one in there. It's a 2-1 count to Wilson.
Wilson is quite inside in the batter's box. Almost grazed him there with that inside pitch.
Weston's pretty good with 2 outs. He's a good pitcher, and that's another strike. Make that a 2-2 count. With 2 outs, he only allows a .226 batting average. And on the other side, Wilson has a .167 batting average when he is up with 2 outs. So works in the favor of Michigan. Weston gears up, fires. Oh, and that's in the dirt. 3-2 count.
And with 2 outs, Sam Wilson is really waiting for his pitch. Showing a lot of patience as Weston mixes it up between fastballs and off speed.
3-2 out. Weston dealing. Ground ball up the middle, and this time there's no one there to get it as Wilson reaches first base.
Michigan was employing quite a bit of a shift on that last play with Weston, and Sims was about halfway between second and third, and it was shifted all left, and kind of hurt them a little bit, as Sims probably would have been positioned to field it if he were in his normal shortstop position. Just as that, they shift completely the other way. Sims is now on the right side of second base.
Always looking for these Ohio State and Michigan batters to pull, both sides shifting heavily. There's a fly ball to right field going into foul territory, and it is caught in shallow right field by Bertram. That is 3 outs, and we head to the bottom half of the third inning.
So 1 runner left on base with 1 hit, and it remains 1-0. Michigan leads. But I guess in that last at-bat with Oakley, the shift paid off, because that was right where Michigan was well positioned. I'm sure if Michigan's first baseman, probably Obertop, could have got into it even without a shift. But they were much better prepared to make that pop out with the shift.
And for Michigan now, it's going to be their 3, 4, and 5 batters looking to make some noise. Although the first time around in this order, they each did not get a hit, going 0 for 1.
Yeah, and it's all eyes are going to be on Lonsway this game. He is getting some attention from scouts. There's a pocket of a handful of scouts at the game. When we were getting our credentials, we saw a few of them checking in as well. They're likely looking at both pitchers on either team, both Cam Weston and Lonsway. But Cam Weston likely won't be drafted this season, but still keeping an eye on him. But Lonsway, he's gone very far this season in the several games he's played. And you mentioned just how many strikeouts he's able to pull. Just his average per 9 is quite stellar.
He does have swing and miss stuff, as we've seen here today with 5 strikeouts in just 2 innings pitched. And stepping to the plate is Mazer from Michigan, senior batting third. He's hitting .239 on the year.
He's 0 for 1 today, too, with a strikeout.
And Griffin Mazer fouls that offering off to the right side into the parking lot. 0-1 count coming from Lonsway. Seth Lonsway getting his sign into the windup, and he fires home. And that's an off-speed pitch, and Mazer was fooled by that one. Swing and a miss.
Beautiful curve on that. Completely dropped at the end of right as it crossed the plate.
Lonsway, where he's comfortable is with 2 strikes, and he has an 0-2 count right here on Mazer. That's going to be a pitch called ball. 1-2 count.
Lonsway has received many allocates in his career, including second team all freshman All-American in 2019.
Offering from Lonsway is grounded to the shortstop, and out is Mazer. Mazer.
Yeah, that throw was just in time. It was hustling down the base path. Couldn't quite beat it out, giving Obertop the chance to step up to the plate with 1 out.
Mazer is now 0 for 2 on the day. Jimmy Obertop trying not to follow suit as he is 0 for 1 stepping into the batter's box. The first offering is a strike from Lonsway. An easy 93-mile-per-hour fastball in the lower right corner of the plate. Oh, and he got him swinging on another off-speed pitch, just like Mazer. Obertop was fooled by that one. It was low and inside, but the curveball got him. Make that an 0-2 count now. Lonsway has a pretty good rhythm here. Ready to fire once again. But Obertop, trying to break up his rhythm, steps out of the batter's box, asking for time. Lonsway dealing. Ground ball to the left side, and it is out of play.
Michigan's third base coach made a pretty athletic play to get to it.
Still no balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Lonsway fires. Oh, and he got him. Another off-speed pitch, low and inside. Strike 3.
And with that, once again, racking up the Ks. 6th strikeout of the day, and it's only 2 2/3 innings pitched.
And Ted Burton up at the plate for Michigan. He's hitting .333 on the year. Not too shabby. Lonsway with the curveball going in for strike 1. He's been starting batters off with that fastball, but he went for that off speed to kind of change it up a little bit, and it paid off. Lonsway, again, with that rhythm, he's working pretty quickly. He gets another strike called there on a swing and a foul tip into the glove. It's an 0-2 count to Burton. Lonsway fires high and outside. 93-mile-per-hour fastball was nowhere near the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Lonsway ready to deal, and he does. Off-speed pitch got Burton swinging, and that will be the end of the bottom third of the inning, and that was 3 up, 3 down. No runners left on base, no hits as we head to the top of the 4th. Michigan leads 1-0.
And it's looking fantastic for both teams so far. Weston seems to be in a groove, getting some easy outs. While Lonsway, despite that trouble in the second inning, he shows that he's able to get a strikeout if needed. As Weston returns to the mound for his fourth inning, he's already thrown 46 pitches, but I doubt that he'll be pulled anytime soon. Cam Weston, so far this season, he's pitched, his minimum pitch count has been 69 last week, and against Maryland, outside of that, he's thrown in the 90s 3 separate times. So Coach Bakic is clearly willing to give him a leash and let him go far if he has warranted it. In each of those games where he's thrown at least 90 pitches, he hasn't given up very many hits or earned runs, only 6 hits at most in those games. And each of those games he's gone at least 6 innings too. And he's right now on pace to do just that. Only 2 hits surrendered, no runs given up, and 3 innings pitched already. So he goes out for the top of the 4th.
Top of the 4th is going to be a little daunting early on for Weston, though, as he faces Ohio State's top 2 batters in DeZenzo and Kern, the numbers 3 and 4 guys, followed by Pohl, who hits 5th.
DeZenzo's up. He's 1 for 1 on the afternoon. In the first inning, he got a single. First pitch is in, and it's inside for ball 1. DeZenzo is one of the taller players on Ohio State. Let me see what he's billed at. He's billed at 6'4". Next pitch is in and is fouled off. He checked his swing. He probably should have followed through, but it checks it and it goes down the first base line. 6'4". The infielder has one of the largest strike zones on the team. Pitches in, and it looks like the ball or the bat may have broken as Weston recovers and throws to first base for the out. I wonder what happened there, if everyone's okay.
I think the cover of the ball?
Or something came off the bat, maybe. Something came off. Maybe that was the cover of the ball. Did he really just hit the cover off that baseball? Wow.
I think, well, let's see what Weston does with the baseball. He has the ball that was just used, and he's throwing it back to the catcher. Oh, that just, yeah. He threw that ball to the catcher, and it landed short of the catcher, and it just died on the ground.
That's impressive. That was a bloop grounder right to the pitcher, but
it was bloop for a reason, as he literally hit the cover off that baseball.
Yeah. Usually when someone says they hit the cover off of it, you think a monster blast, not just some chopper right to the pitcher, but...
Oh my gosh, 41 mile per hour exit velocity on that one.
Yeah, wow. First pitch is in and it's hit in between third and shortstop. Goes into the outfield for a single by Cade Kern on the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Kern bouncing back from that double play he hit into in the first inning kind of ended Ohio State's chances at scoring a run. It effectively did, as they were pretty much rallying in that first inning. And he's on first base now with 1 out. Ohio State's second half of the order trying to make noise now.
Absolutely, and Kern is taking a bit of a lead from first as Connor Pohl is up. Bunt is laid down. Right pitcher recovers it, throws to first base, not in time, bounces in. I wonder if that'll be an error on the pitcher maybe for that throw. It would have been close even if the throw were on pace, but definitely not. And that is let's see if it's a base hit or an error. But that'll be a bunt single is what it's scored as. So bunt single right there for Pohl as 2 runners come on with 1 out. As Colton Bauer steps to the plate, 1 runner in scoring position.
It's not often you see a first baseman lay down a bunt and get a single off of it.
Yeah, bunt for a single. by a first baseman. Certainly an oddity. First pitch is grounded right to shortstop. Throws to second, right to first for the double play. Made it look easy in textbook. Sims, Bertram, Obertop, 6-4-3 to close out this inning. And just as quickly as Weston got in that mess, he gets out of it and goes into the fourth inning unscathed, surrendering 2 hits, 1 runner left on base, and no runs at the middle of the fourth inning here in Ann Arbor.
Each time that Ohio State has gotten someone with in scoring position, runner on second base, they have grounded into a double play the following batter.
Yeah, that's going to be key, is advancing these runners to get them home. We mentioned they're not much of a power-hitting team. Yesterday we saw one of their players get a triple. However, that was about it from them for the extra base hits. Even though they ended up scoring 7 runs, most of those were racked up just on singles or walks or advancing base runners. And so far today, they're struggling to do that against Cam Weston. And coming up this next inning, it's going to begin with Sims, and then Flores, and then Zimmerman. And Sims, in the second inning, he got a single and eventually was advanced to home, which is the only run earned by either team so far today, as we are in the middle of the fourth inning. Sims, he's a 5th hitter, or 6th hitter today. Yesterday was 5th. But he has a very solid batting average, showing the depth of Michigan's offense. 324 on the season. First pitch is in, bounces in the batter's box for a 91-mile-per-hour fastball. In the opposing batter's box, Sims is the only left-hander in the lineup today for Michigan. Next one comes in and is low, ball 2. Pitch is on the way and a bit outside as well. 3-0 for Benjamin Sims.
First 3-0 count for Michigan today. A couple other times Michigan was faced with a full count, but way ahead in the count this time.
Fourth pitch is in and it's outside and low. Sims takes first base on 4 straight pitches. And let's see if Sims attempts any stealing or base running action. He has 2 stolen bases this season.
Was that Sims in the, I think it was second inning, that stole that base?
It may have been, because I remember Bertram also stole base, but I think Sims might have. I think that was a wild pitch is what it was officially scored as.
I think he was running on the pitch, and it just happened to also be a wild pitch. Yes, that's what happened.
And he's stealing on the pitch, and it's overthrown. Almost goes out, barely stays in play, but it gives him a chance to go to third. He's rounding third, but then stops up. Wow, great heads-up base running by Benjamin Sims.
So Michigan knows to go on the first move because Lonsway is just horrendous at these pickoff moves. He's attempted 3 pickoff moves, and each time it's totally overthrown or underthrown.
Exactly. One overthrew. I think this was when Sims was on second in the second inning. Went straight into center field, 10 feet over the head. This next one, it almost went out of play, and it almost went into the bullpen. Barely stayed in play, but it allowed Sims to advance 2 bases. Pitches into Tito Flores inside for a ball. Flores 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. However, he's coming off probably one of the best days of his career yesterday. .260 batting average on the season. This one is in and bounces. Catcher can't hang on to it. Brookman, but he keeps it in front of him, preventing Sims from advancing.
Michigan in a really good position here with a runner on third and nobody out. If you recall, earlier in the game, in the first inning, they had a runner on second with nobody out and were unable to take advantage when Rogers got that single and then made it to second base during that second at-bat. But they weren't able to take advantage. But here with a runner on third, a simple fly-out, sacrifice fly will do the job in extending the lead to 2-0.
Yes. So it's currently 1-0, but basically any ball in play should get a run. This next one is inside as well, so it's 2-0, or 3-0, excuse me, 3-0 for the count, as he is one pitch away from taking first base. It looks like Lansway might be a bit rattled. Bounces into the plate, and he can't even hang on to it, but catcher Brookman keeps it in front of him. As runners on the corner, and Michigan is with 0 outs, is making a statement and trying to get an additional run or more runs on the board.
And Ohio State is preparing for damage on this Michigan side by sending some pitchers warming up in the bullpen, 2 righties warming up with a third player jogging out there, potentially joining them.
Absolutely. Just giving Ohio State skipper some options on and who to go with. Pitch is coming, and it's a called strike. Just gets the inside corner of the plate.
That's the first strike of the inning for Lansway.
Next pitch is in, running on the pitch, and he throws it down, not in time, and he's safe at second base is Flores. That was a gutsy steal. Oftentimes you see, if they do throw down, you see the runner on third potentially make a move at home, but nothing there from Sims. He was pretty stationary on third, but at least now Flores, he's safe at second, and he's out of a force out. He prevents a double play from potentially taking place. Guess it still could happen, but it would be a lot tougher. Comes the pitch, swing and a miss. It's another strike, 1-2.
Well, if anyone can get out of this jam of second and third with nobody out, I think from what we've seen today that Lansway is the guy that can do it with the swing and miss stuff that he has. Just the amount of contact that this Michigan team has had against him is so minimal that he can do it.
Swing and strike 3. That's the 8th strikeout of the day for Lansway. Only 10 recorded outs so far to this game. So 8 out of 10, 80% of the outs have been strikeouts from Lansway. He is showing the impressive skill at, despite surrendering a walk and then another base runner, he is showing the elite skill of settling down and returning to form. Quite impressive for a collegiate baseball player. Bertram at the plate. He got that RBI single in the first inning. Or in the second inning, excuse me. Pitch is coming in, an off-speed 79 mile per hour changeup for a ball. It's 1-0. Next pitch is in, and that's a called strike, 1-1.
Bertram trying to do damage again in the 9 hole. He has runners on second and third. In that first inning, like you said, he was able to get a base hit and bring in that run.
Here's the windup in the pitch, and checks the swing. Let's see if he goes, and they're going to say he went for a strike, 1-2. And with 1 out, Michigan right now just needs to get it in play, even if it's a pop fly, a sac fly, that'll likely score a run.
And the infield is back as well, so even a ground ball to the shortstop or second baseman, I believe, would score Sems on third.
And with Tito Flores at second, no chance. Ball pitched, and it's in play. Deep screeching ball to deep left field. Bounces on the warning track. 1 run comes in. Rounding third is Flores going to home plate. Catcher misses it. He's safe for a stand-up double by Riley Bertram. He is having a day. He has all 3 RBIs today. Really producing phenomenal blasts. Probably if the wind were favorable, that could have been out of here. In left field, that bounced on the warning track over Kaiser's head.
Completely. And on second base, I believe it was Zimmerman, or it was Flores on second base, and he completely ran through a stop sign rounding third. He was dead to rights, but that throw to home plate was off the mark, and so he was able to slide in safely.
Exactly. Next pitch is coming up to the top of the order is Rogers. He's 1 for 1 today with a walk and a single. Bertram, 2 for 2 with a RBI single and a 2 RBI double. At this rate, he'll get a 3 RBI triple up next and then a grand slam. Taking a bit of a lead is Bertram. Stepping off the rubber, faking a pickoff throw is Lansway. Hangs on to it, though. When Flores was rounding third, he didn't get a good jump because if that was caught, he would have stayed at second. But he eventually rounded third, and the throw was off. Pitches in inside, and it bounces for another ball. For a ball, it's 1-1. If that throw it had the right timing, but if it were on aim, it likely would have been an out. But because the catcher didn't even get it, it bounced all the way to the backstop almost. Lansway was backing him up. Pitches in and stealing is Bertram, and it's hit and fouled on the first base line. Good hack, just a foot or two foul. Line drive. Bertram has 2 stolen bases on the season. He seems to be pretty aggressive on the base path here. In the second inning when he was on base, an attempted pickoff play eventually sent him to second. He got a free base off of that because the pickoff bounced. Pitches in, it's a ball, gets away from him, and a stolen base. He'll take third for Bertram. I wonder if that'll be a wild pitch or maybe a stolen base. I'm curious how it's scored. The scorebook says it was a stolen base, so we'll go with that one.
Yes, Bertram was going on the pitch once again. Interesting, going from second to third with 1 out, but paid off for Michigan. And the pitch was in the dirt for a ball, so got in there easily.
And now 2-2 count. Here comes a pitch. It's a bit low. The count is full with 1 out and a runner on third. Michigan already got two runs this inning, looking to get several, an additional 1 or even several more with Bertram at third. Pitches in and strike 3. Jordan Rogers was taking first base and he got rung up. Home plate umpire Nathan Thompson, he has done that several times to both teams today. With a full count, the batter taking first base and then calling a delayed strike 3, sending them back to the dugout. Molfetta's up for Michigan with 2 outs. First pitch is in, gets away from the catcher inside, and Riley Bertram will take home to make it a 4-0 game. Riley Bertram with that 2-run double. And then he steals third, and then he advances on that wild pitch home. And it looks like Lansway, he has 9 strikeouts, so very impressive. But he's also given up 4 runs in 3 2/3 innings.
And 4 walks with that. So a lot of free passes for Michigan, and they've been taking advantage. Namely, Bertram has been taking advantage.
Exactly. It's all been on Bertram. He has 3 RBIs and then an additional run himself. Pitches in, ball 3. For that second ball, Molfetta showed a bunt but pulled it back, and the first base umpire said he got it back in time. Pitches in. This one is right down the middle for strike 1. 3-1 for Molfetta. He has 2 strikeouts on the day with 2 outs right now. No runners on. It's a pitch. Strike two. So starting out with a 3-0 count, 2 quick strikes by Lonsway. Comes the pitch. This is high, and he'll take first base.
It's walk number 5. And if I am Ohio State, I don't know if I leave in Lonsway for much longer the way he's really struggled this inning.
Yeah, it's a shame if he can't even finish 4 complete innings, but it might get too far away from him. It's already 4 runs. With Mazur up, he has the potential to round in Morfetta. He has 2 stolen bases on this season, but he's also been caught twice.
And the way that Lonsway struggles with the pickoff moves, I wouldn't doubt that Morfetta tries to steal second and tempt Lonsway to throw to first.
And first pitch, he's going. Bunt laid down, pulled back, and no throw at all. That's a ball. So it's 1-0 count. And taken second very easily without a throw is Morfetta. 4-0 lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning with 2 outs and a runner on second in scoring position for Griffin Mazur.
Morfetta can even do it again and tempt Lonsway to throw to second, where he overthrew the guy by 10 feet last time.
And a check swing, and it barely bounces over to first base, recovered by Pohl, and he runs it to first for the out to finish up that inning. 3 runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base.
Not a bad inning for Michigan there.
Yeah, especially not a bad inning for Riley Bertram, who got a 2-run double and then scored himself on a stolen base and then a wild pitch. So he manufactured all 3 of those runs.
I believe in that inning, Michigan really exposed Lonsway, and their scouting on him really paid off, because when you get someone on base, even if it's just a walk with those 5 free passes that Lonsway has given up, you have someone on first, it's almost a guarantee that they get to second or at least third, as I believe it was who stole 2 bases in that inning? Bertram, I believe, stole 2 bases. Or no, he stole third after he had that double. So every single person who gets on base takes advantage of Lonsway's inability to pick them off and gets a massive lead, and then a great jump, and it's just runners going around the bases like a merry-go-round for Michigan.
Early in that innings, it doesn't even feel like the same inning, but Sims, he took first on a walk, and then eventually he was kind of dancing on the base path, got a very wild pickoff throw. It went 10 feet over the first baseman's head, barely stayed in the field of play, almost went into the bullpen by where some photographers are, and allowed Sims to take third base. Or he didn't even slow down at second, just kept rounding it. But it is a fantastic day at Ann Arbor. The crowd hasn't been too loud today. It's kind of a mellow crowd. It's just a warm, nice Saturday with a slight breeze. You can't ask for a better day for baseball. Hopefully this game finishes up before the thunderstorms come in.
And Weston facing 7, 8, and 9 in this Ohio State batting order. Starts Archer Brookman in the 7th spot off with a ball. Brookman, the senior right-handed batter, is 0 for 1 on the day, and he is hitting .05 on the year. As Weston gears up and throws a strike, 91-mile-per-hour fastball, brings the count to 1-1. Weston deals, and Michigan bench wanted that one, but it is called a ball. 2-1 is the count. Weston had some success against the 7, 8, and 9 batters in this Ohio State order the last go-around. He's trying to replicate that success in this inning here, but he throws another ball inside to Brookman. It is a 3-1 count. Weston trying to work his way back from that now.
Yeah, and just a quarter of a mile away is the big house, and today is actually the spring game. I believe it's happening right now.
and that's very exciting. Would be amazing, even more exciting if students were able to attend, but next year hopefully should be exciting with all the additions to the staff and the new recruits coming in. J.J. McCarthy headlining them. As while we were talking about that, there was a strike, and then on the 3-2 count, a ball ripped to left field, to the left fielder. He gathers it, throws it into second base, limiting Brooks to a single.
Yeah, Brookman, that is a long, long single right down the laser beam, right down the third base line. And a solid heads-up defensive play by Michigan's left fielder, Danny Zimmerman.
Called him Brooks with Michigan basketball still on the mind. That was Brookman on first base now for Ohio State.
Yeah, from Ray Fisher Stadium, we got the big house on one side, Chrysler right down center field. Hard to miss with all these Michigan athletics. Yost on third base side, then we got Schimbeckler Hall situated right at the heart of the Michigan athletic mecca.
And Weston deals a fastball right down the middle, 92 mile per hour for a strike, and follows that up with an off-speed pitch in the dirt. So the count is 1-1 with the number 8 batter Kaiser up at the plate.
Yeah, Kaiser 0-1. He had a strikeout in the third inning earlier today.
Kaiser hitless on the year so far. Looking for number 1 here, but Weston trying to prevent that from happening. He deals, and it's a ball up and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Again, no outs. Michigan leads 4-0. Although Ohio State leads the hits category, 5-4. Michigan getting a lot of their runners on base from those 5 walks that Lonsway dealt. And Kaiser hits it to left field, can of corn, and Zimmerman takes care of that one pretty easily, gets it in, and Brookman unable to advance on the fly ball, not even trying to tag up.
And with that, 1 out for Michigan with 1 runner on. Michigan has already had 2 double plays. I'm curious if a third one might come up. Feel like I might be jinxing it, though, if I say it.
Well, the double plays seem to only happen when there's a runner in scoring position for Ohio State.
That's
so
a good point.
It would have to be runners on first and second for that to occur. And that's ball 1 for Weston. See through it a little low and outside on that 90 mile per hour fastball. Starts the count 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. With Irwin, the number 9 batter from Ohio State, up at the plate.
Brookman, very conservative on the base path. The catcher, he has no steals this entire season.
And there's another ball. 2 balls, no strikes. And Weston dealing with some sort of injury, looks like, to his finger. I don't know if it's his nail or something.
Yeah, those nails could be so important for pitchers. Even a jam finger, it's crucial because, like those grips. Remember, one of my favorite pitchers growing up was the Mets knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. And in his autobiography, he wrote about one game. He had a 1-hitter going through 7 innings, and he had a hangnail. And for a knuckleballer, that's the worst possible thing. But he had a filer, a nail filer in the dugout. He filed it down and ended up finishing that 1-hitter and ended up winning Cy Young later that season.
Yeah, I think that was his probably only amazing year.
Yeah.
He got traded to the Blue Jays, but the Mets are not complaining as they got Noah Syndergaard from that trade.
And R.A. Dickey, he kind of went off. That was his peak. He got the Cy Young. They sold him at the best time. It's buy low, sell high. They learned that with Will Ponnet as ownership and Cohen now, too.
Mm-hmm. And even though we're back from the injury, doesn't look like that meeting at the mound helped, as it's ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Weston hopefully not dealing with anything serious as he remains in the game. And that's another ball. 4 straight balls walked him on 4 pitches. That will now lead to Wilson, Ohio State's first batter in the order, coming to the plate with runners on first and second. And you know what that's a recipe for?
A double play, you
A double
think?
play.
Yeah, now there's a runner in scoring position, still 2 force outs. I think now you're right. One might be coming up. Wilson, he has gotten a ground out and a single today, batting .250 on the season.
As we've been talking about the double plays, Ohio State had only 2 chances with runners in scoring position, and they are 0 for 2 with both of those being double plays. So that is the reasoning for why we are saying this if you have just joined us. Oh, and almost a ground ball, and it could have been 2, but hit off of his foot. It looked like it was destined for 2, but that's still good for Michigan. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, runners on first and second.
Yeah, and Michigan's in the all-white uniforms today. Ohio State in the red and gray. Pretty clean with they got the cursive Ohio State on the front. Reminds me of their big band spelling that out on the field. It's the same font and everything. I can't tell if it's pinstripes or not because there's the netting between us and the dugout and the field. I can't see whether those lines are pinstripes or just because of the net or not. But still pretty clean look from Michigan.
Oh, Wilson rips it to left field. And, oh, what a catch. Zimmerman's there, throws it into the infield. Did he rob a home run there? Or was it
Not a home run because there's a big fence in
okay.
Left field that would have likely it off the wall, but it would have hit the wall if he hadn't caught it.
Okay, I'm not too familiar with the Michigan baseball stadium, so I apologize. So that's like a green monster.
Not quite as
situation.
big or as long and not quite as close as a green monster, but I guess you could call it the brick monster at Ray Fisher Stadium.
All right, very nonchalant catch there by Zimmerman, but drew a big round of applause from the Michigan faithful in the stands. And Oakley up to the plate now for Ohio State, swings and misses at the first offering from Weston. And it is no balls, 1 strike, and now 2 outs. So the double play did not end up happening, but still an out regardless, so Michigan will take it. Pitch from Weston on the outside of the plate was a ball. It is a 1-1 count from that after that off-speed pitch. Weston still favoring his finger a little bit, looking down at the nail or the finger, whatever it is. Gave a toss of the rosin bag, and he's back on the rubber. Staring at the catcher, looking for the sign. And he deals, and it is a foul pitch, or a foul ball, excuse me. Pitch was fouled back to the netting. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Michigan has some players up in the bullpen. Or there's just 1 pitcher warming up in the bullpen. I believe this could be Weston's last inning, potentially last batter if Ohio State starts making noise. I think with his nail or whatever finger injury it is, that they may want to ensure that he's okay. As he deals, and it is high for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Again, I'm only speculating, but I believe that Oakley could be Weston's last batter that he faces.
Yeah, he steps off the mound now to take some time, grabs a rosin bag behind the mound. But he's had a fantastic day so far. 4 strikeouts, no earned runs, only 5 hits surrendered.
And that is strike 3. What a way to end the inning, and potentially a day for Weston. Ohio State leaves 2 runners stranded on first and second, again continuing the theme of being hitless with runners in scoring position. They're now 0 for 4. And there was 1 hit in that inning. Again, 2 runners left, or no hits that inning, 2 runners left on base for Ohio State. And Michigan heads to the bottom of the 5th inning, leading this game 4-0.
As we are broadcasting this, the Michigan softball team is actually down in Columbus playing against Ohio State. I've noticed following Michigan athletics, the athletic departments like to schedule these where like they might have men's basketball on the road against Minnesota and then the women's at home on the same day. it makes scheduling easy. They do that also for baseball and softball, it seems like. As Ohio State's up in Ann Arbor, the Michigan softball team is playing in Columbus against Ohio State softball team. As of 8 minutes ago, it is the top of the fifth, 0-0. So the Michigan baseball team is the only team of those four to get any runs so far today. Then looking around the league, let's see if we got any scores come in. Purdue played Penn State and East Lansing, which is one of those go-figure things you only see in this COVID season. But Penn State won 11-0. And that so far is the only game to finish up. We'll give you some updates with some other out-of-town scores later. But like due to the pod system, it's just so odd. You see teams play in cities and matchups that you would never expect in a normal year.
And Lonsway back out for Ohio State. Somewhat of a surprise, but he got out of the jam in the last inning, so I guess that makes sense. Starts off Obertop with a strike call here, 90-mile-per-hour fastball. And second pitch coming is a ball. Lonsway looks like he's back into that rhythm, getting on that mound quickly, waiting for Obertop to step into the batter's box. And winds up and he deals, and that's a curveball that just drops into the strike zone. There's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Again, Obertop leading off for Michigan this inning, so there are no outs. Obertop's first 2 plate appearances are strikeouts swinging, 1 on a curveball, 1 on a fastball. And he checked his swing there as the ball went in the dirt, so he was not fooled by that curveball this go around. And it is a 2-2 count for Obertop. And he deals, ground ball, third baseman, high chopper, fires across the diamond, and he got him. There is 1 out. Jimmy Obertop is retired, and Burton steps to the plate for Michigan.
Lonsway has already racked up a ton of pitches, too. He has 93 pitches, so I'm kind of surprised you're giving him another inning with that high pitch count.
His success against Obertop and Burton today could, I guess, be the reason behind that, as he settled Obertop down in that first spot in this half inning, and now he has Burton. And Burton looked at that pitch, but that was after he swung and missed at the first strike call, and so it is a 1-1 count to Ted Burton. And another ball offering from Lonsway. It is a 2-1 count for Ted Burton. Burton 0 for 2 on the day with a fly out to the center fielder and a strikeout. And he lines one back to the net. It is a 2-2 count. Lonsway got him where he likes him with 2 strikes.
And all things considered, Lonsway's had a decent day.
And he pops that one up to the right side, but that will go into the parking lot, far out of play. Up next is Sems, who is a lefty, but he's 1 for 1 on the day with a walk in addition to that hit. And, Lonsway is a lefty, so they may be leaving him in for that, as the pitcher warming up in the bullpen is a righty. And that was another ball to Burton, as it is now a 3-2 count with 1 out, as Lonsway deals. And that is a strike 3 call. Got him looking. 2 outs in this inning as Sems steps up to the plate.
That is phenomenal. He has 10 strikeouts out of 14 total outs this game so far. So even though, like I mentioned, he's having a solid day. He has 10 strikeouts. He only gave up 4 hits. The walks is what I would be most concerned about.
Oh, and Sems lines it up the middle as he continues his success against Lonsway. Kind of interesting, even though he's the same dominant hand batter as Lonsway is pitcher, both lefties, as he is the only lefty in the batting order. And it looked like the decision to keep Lonsway in the game paid off for those first two batters, Obertop and Burton, as they both uh, remained hitless on the day. But Sems now 0 for 2 and 2 for 2, excuse me. And it appears as though they are making a switch with Flores up at the plate now.
And you were right on the money there. They were keeping him in for the lefty-lefty matchup. Obviously didn't pay off. First pitch ripped up the middle for a single. And now I think this is when they will call to the bullpen and get a fresh arm in there. So, yep, here comes relief from the bullpen. And that'll conclude Lonsway's day. He had 4 earned runs, 10 strikeouts, 5 walks, and 5 hits in 4 and 2/3 innings. It's a decent start. He looked good. He's also had some wild pitches, though.
Yes.
So I think he could show that he could get guys out when he's dominant, but that control is leaving something to be desired, is I think the takeaway.
Yes, both the control to the plate and to the bases on those pickoff moves. I think especially with Sims getting on base and really Lonsway being exposed in that regard in the pickoff moves and stolen bases off of him and just everything to do with that, it was a wise decision to bring in the relief pitcher for Ohio State. And I think to bring in Lonsway for this inning was sound, and they got the result that they wanted from the first two batters in Overtop and Burton, even though it is a righty-lefty matchup. As I said, they remained hitless, but the lefty-lefty matchup worked in Michigan's favor as Sims got on first base.
And so with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, Will Finning comes in, the junior out of Mason, Ohio. The right-handed pitcher is going to come in for some relief. I'd imagine Ohio State decides to keep him in for an additional inning if he gets out of this jam relatively quickly. But we shall see. Pretty early to pull your starter, too. You look at Lonsway's games, he's been a bit over the place with innings pitched. His very first outing, he only went 2 2/3. But then since then, it's been pretty solid. He did 6 and then 7 and then 5 and then 7. So he's done quite a bit. So today would be his least amount of innings pitched since that very first outing against Iowa.
Ohio State bringing in Will Fenning here. Fenning is a right-handed pitcher, so he's got the matchup going against this right-hand dominant Michigan lineup. But his ERA is way up there, 6.88 ERA on the year, 17 innings pitched, so it's not like it's a small sample size. 17 innings pitched, 13 earned runs. See if Michigan can take advantage with a runner on first base as Fennig steps off, looks back Sims.
And that runner on first, Finning is not responsible for. It still goes to Seth Lonsway.
Fennig, throws back to first and almost got him. Very good pickoff move, much better than what we've been accustomed to seeing from Lonsway earlier in this game. Big difference. Michigan will have to adjust there as they're not going to get any free bases anymore. Fennig throws back to first again. Sims gets back pretty safely.
And so far, the most apparent change between these two pitchers is Finning's success at these pickoff plays. Lonsway really struggled with that.
Big difference between these two pitchers as we've seen, but not even a pitch thrown yet by Fennig as he throws one now, and it's really inside to Tito Flores. That's a ball 1. No strikes. Again, 2 outs. Michigan leads this one 4-0. And trying to get some more with a runner on first base here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
Another pickoff. This one was really close, but he'll just barely get in there as Sims.
He's got a quick move. A little 1-2 and then fire does Fennig. But Sims able to get back in time just barely. Fennig looking at the catcher, getting his sign. Oh, what a shot to left field. If it's fair, it's gone.
Let's see what
And that is foul. That jumped off the bat.
well, from our angle, it's tough to judge that, but it looks like it was a little bit foul, but that was a blast.
Tito Flores.
103 exit velocity right there on an 88-mile-per-hour changeup.
Yeah, who needs analytics when I could just tell you that it jumped off the bat?
Exactly, and on the pitch, Sims was running too, so.
Let's see if he does that again. Oh, no! Oh, they called a balk. He would have been out on that pickoff move. It looked like a good one, but Sims was slow to get back, and he was going to be out, but then the first base umpire called a balk on Pfennig as Sims gets into scoring position now at second base with a 1-1 count and 2 outs to Tito Flores. Pfennig deals. Strike call. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
And Tito Flores with that blast that was just barely foul. He had a blast yesterday to roughly the same spot, but it was fair. Just like 10 or so feet further to the right, it would have been gone. Or a split second later.
Pfennig deals. High and outside. Tito Flores laid off. Make that count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Man on second. A lot of twos.
Exactly. It is 4-0 though, so Michigan has 2 twos, 2 squared on their runs column.
Pfennig deals. Oh, strike 3. Tito Flores swings through the fastball as Michigan leaves 1 on base. Got 1 hit that inning and goes to the top of the 6th inning, leading 4-0. And the hits column is tied 5-5, and Ohio State has 1 error to Michigan's 0.
This game is moving right along. We're going to the 6th inning, so just over halfway done. Michigan has a commanding lead. It's been pretty one-sided. Let's see who goes into the mound.
And it is Weston. Weston has returned for the top of the 6th inning, so hopefully that means his finger is doing all right.
Yeah, I wonder if in the dugout that the team doctor take a look or anything specific. Would imagine that might have happened. But still a fantastic day in Ann Arbor. It's a beautiful day for baseball. It's a shame the general students couldn't come in and watch. 73 degrees, but it's supposed to begin raining in about 2 or 3 hours. So the original first pitch time was 2 p.m., but they pushed it up 2 hours to get it in hopefully by the end of the before the rain comes in. And I think if this forecast remains accurate, they probably will. And it's supposed to rain overnight and stop around 3 or 4 a.m. and then pick up at 11. So the game tomorrow is scheduled as of now to start at 4 p.m. I'm not sure whether that would happen. I believe you're also broadcasting it tomorrow, right?
I am, yes.
So tune in
Alongside
tomorrow.
Jared Greenspan.
Oh, that should be a fantastic call. Tune in tomorrow at 4, assuming the game takes place and not canceled due to weather delayed. But should be a fantastic broadcast on WCBN Sports on YouTube. As Zach Tazinzo comes to the plate with Weston still dealing from the mound. First pitch in for a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Tazinzo had that single in the first and then a ground out in the fourth. 1 for 2 on the day. .312 batting average on the season, however. Wind up in the pitch. This one's a little bit low. It's going to be 1-1. And Weston, he's had a phenomenal day. Only 5 strikeouts, but no earned runs surrendered. To be fair, some credit deserves to be given to his defense with those double plays. Next pitch is in. Bit low, ball 2, 2-1. Had some double plays that saved him some potential runs, but right now he's in position for the win. He's the pitcher record, and if he finishes out this inning, it's officially a quality start. He has less than 4 runs in 6 innings. Next pitch is in. Hit over to right field, and it drifts foul into the bullpen. Pretty solid whack from DeZenzo. Bit of a power hitter. He has 5 doubles on the season and 3 home runs. But he's probably, him and Kern are the two best hitters on Ohio State this season.
Michigan's still got a pitcher warming up in that bullpen.
I'm curious what leash they might give him. Next pitch is in, and this one's a pop fly, a real monster hit. Getting under it, tracking it down is Rogers. Flores calls him off and gets a pop out. So it's 1 away in this 6th inning as Weston continues to deal. Coming up to the plate is Cade Kern. He has a single in the 4th inning, and he's 1 for 1 today. Pitching, Weston's at 78 pitches through 5 1/3. Next one comes on in, and that is a ball. 1-0. So I'm curious what type of leash they might give him with 78 pitches. Next pitch is in. Strike, 1-1. Called strike on the inside of the batter's box. Looking at earlier this game, he's gone into some 90s. He's also gotten pulled in the 60s and low 70s. So I'm unsure. Probably going to have a bit longer of a leash considering Michigan's run support. Next pitch is inside. Jumping out of the way is Cade Kern. 2-1. He has 0 runs surrendered, and the Michigan offense has 4 runs thanks to Riley Bertram. Michigan is shifting pretty heavily. Next pitch is high and outside, 3-1. Speaking of Bertram, he is on the left side of second base, and then deep shift from the shortstop as well. So Michigan is really into the shifts today for both right-handed and left-handed batters with Sims. This one is whacked and right at Bertram. Throws it over to first for the out to Obertop. The shift was perfect. That would have been a single right up the middle if he didn't even have to move.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable the
Yeah.
way that these coaches have their players positioned, and it just works out so well so often. I was watching a game the other day where there was a ground ball similar to what we had in the first inning. Ground ball chopper to the right up the middle, hard hit, and the pitcher instinctively hit it with his glove, and then as a result, it would have been it was a single, but it would have been an out because a player was standing right behind the pitcher.
Really. First pitch is in for a strike, 0-1. It's just crazy. And then now we got another reverse shift. We got Bertram very close to first base almost, and Sims is on the other side of second base where a shortstop might usually, or second baseman might usually stand. Slapped up to the first base line and easily scooped up by Obertop, and he runs it in, closes out the inning. This shift was perfect for both of those batters. They were in the perfect position.
Great inning defensively for Michigan, just flexing their muscles there.
So now, at the middle of the 6th, no runs, no hits, no errors that inning, as Weston comes out, still looking very strong. And Finning returns to the mound once again. He got that out, 1 out in the previous inning. He's a 6.75 ERA, but a decent whip, only 1.29. So I'm curious if maybe some of those come from like home runs or specific hits. I'm unsure. He's given up 2 home runs this season on 13 hits. So guess large proportion of those hits are big blasts.
Michigan's got 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Although the bottom half of the order for Michigan not playing like the bottom half of an order, with number 6 hitter Sims going 2 for 2 with a walk, and then the number 9 hitter Bertram going 2 for 2 with 3 RBI and a run.
Exactly, and it's all been about Bertram. He's 2 for 2. He's the only guy, him and Sims actually are the only two with multiple hits this game. Despite Michigan's success in the runs column, they only have 5 hits. So a lot of those have been on walks that we've seen. But
Yeah.
Danny Zimmerman comes to the plate now. He had a strikeout in the 4th and a walk in the 2nd and was eventually stranded on 3rd in the 2nd inning. Looking to make something happen now.
Bottom half of the order for Michigan from 6 to 9 is 4 for 7, while the top half is 1 for 13 today.
Wow. Yeah, it's not ideal to have the top half so good, but it's nice when you could rely on the bottom half. First pitch is a strike, and second one is a ball a little bit low. It's 1-1. And Zimmerman, as the pitch comes in, this one's a bit outside. Zimmerman chokes up on the bat quite a bit in his stance. It's a bit old-fashioned, if you ask me. He calls time to the umpire to readjust his grip. Steps back in the batter's box. Immediately comes the pitch. Here it goes, and it's hit, and it's a towering fly. Tracking under it is Oakley. On the warning track, and he gets it. That went incredibly high. 99-mile-per-hour exit velocity, but not quite enough to go out. Probably another 5 feet it would have been gone. It was on the warning track.
Yeah, off the bat, I did not think that had a chance, but then it just kept on going and going.
Yeah, it kept flying. You're right.
Kind of like the Ohio State flyout last inning from DeZenzo.
Exactly, onto the track. Next pitch comes in to Bertram, 2 for 2, including 3 RBIs and a run. If he wants to get an RBI here, he will need a home run. No runners on base for him to put in. 1 out. Pitch is immediately hit right down the line. Diving pull, can't get to it. Rounding first base, goes to second as Bertram goes to second, and he slows down, and he gets a stand-up double, making it 3 for 3 as a single and 2 doubles today.
And he almost had a triple there. That was right down the right field line, and he could have honestly tried to leg it out for a triple. And your assessment would have been right the last time when you said a single, double, and triple, and then a home run.
That would have been good if he got that. When I said that, I imagined the bases were loaded and got 3 RBIs, but yeah, that really hurts his cycled chances.
I'm sure Michigan will be okay with the man on second with 1 out, however.
Yeah, and he has stolen several bases today, and he scored on a wild pitch. I wouldn't be surprised if he attempts to steal now. 4 stolen bases on the season from Bertram. Rogers at the plate, 1 for 2. Has a single, a walk, and a strikeout. First pitch is in, and it's a bit low. He motions over to Bertram to stay put. Taking a quite generous lead is Bertram off second base. With 1 out, it's 1-0 count. And stepping off, but no throw, just to keep Bertram honest, is Finning.
Michigan's had a lot of chances with runners in scoring position today, with 11 at-bats, and only 2 for 11 in such cases. But compared to the 0 for 4 that Ohio State is, it'll work.
Next pitch is in. It's a second ball. It's a 2-0 count. And just now, Ohio State had someone stand up in the bullpen and get loose. I'd imagine they'd like to have Finning finish this inning if possible. But a runner in scoring position with 1 out might put a wrench in that plan. Pitches up. Slap shot single to shortstop. Goes to third, or goes to first, and he's out just barely. Beautiful play by Pohl. Scoops it out of the dirt. However, Bertram advances. He didn't even hold up. Usually you see them kind of wait and delay, but he was running on that hit. So that will be an out, a ground out, but it will advance the runner.
Yeah, I thought that Desenzo, the shortstop, would try to maybe potentially get Bertram at third there, trying to advance ahead of the ball, but he did not.
Pitches in, and this one is outside and just barely held on to by the catcher. And he didn't even hesitate. If he would have even looked towards third, Rogers probably would have been safe at first. He would have beat it out. Wind up in the pitch. This one's low. It's a 2-0 count. Molfetta is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He did get a walk in the 4th inning, however. Michigan looking to pad their lead. They have a 4-0 lead at the moment. Here comes the pitch. And this is a called strike, 2-1. With 2 outs, they have Bertram at third. And as a reminder, back in the 4th inning, we were in a similar situation where Bertram was the only base runner who was at third, and he scored on a wild pitch. Here comes the pitch. Bounces in, but Brookman keeps it in front of him, preventing Bertram from scoring. How wild would that be if it's the same exact situation where he gets a double, advances to third, and then scores on a wild pitch?
Would have been even crazier if it happened just now when you were talking about it.
Wind up in the hit. Deep fly ball. Goes over the fence. That's a home run. 2-run blast by Molfetta. Brings in Bertram. And that just kept sailing off the crack of the bat as he rounds first as third base. Coming home, and the whole dugout clears to meet him at the plate. 6-0 lead for Michigan in the bottom of the 6th inning.
That was a scorching line drive off the bat. And it just kept going and over the right field wall.
It looked like it would be a routine fly out to Oakley at first, but it kept going.
And Molfetta able to hit a home run there and extend this Michigan lead some more padding up to 6-0 on the day.
And Mazur's up with 2 outs, bases cleared. Pitches in, called strike, 0-1 count. And now this does not help Fenning's ERA. Pitch comes in. This is high, goes over the catcher. No runners on base, however. 1-1 count. His ERA jumped from the 6.0 range. It's now 7.50. So it just grew right there. He has a 0-2 win-loss record. Pitches in, swinging strike. It's 1-2.
Not Fenning's year this year, as he's allowing pretty much 1 run per every inning that he has pitched.
Close to it. He's pitched 1 full inning now, or 3 outs. Not a full inning yet. Pitch would come in. This is high. It's 2-2 now. He has 18 innings pitched, and he has 15 earned runs, so just a couple of runs shy of that. This outing does not help with those 2 earned runs just given up by that blast from Molfetta. Pitches in, swing and a miss from Mazur, and that'll get him out of the jam. At the end of the 6th inning, 2 runs given up on 2 hits and 0 errors. No runners left on base. The score is 6-0 Michigan Wolverines in a strong position to command this game. And look who comes back out to the mound.
Weston returning for inning number 7.
I'm not surprised. He's having a fantastic day. He has 6 innings pitched, only 5 hits given up, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts.
And only 85 pitches.
And no earned runs either.
I think it's safe to say that this will be his last inning. And I think it's also safe to say that the finger, nail, whatever issue it was, is behind us.
Absolutely. And still warming up 2 separate guys in the pen right now in different stages. One is on the mound and one's just getting loose. But Bakic has a lot of options today because up by 6, you could do a ton.
Don't want
And
to get too comfortable, though, especially against Ohio State, a team that got hot. Well, is a hot team recently on a 5-game winning streak, but also got hot yesterday in the 7th inning on with 5 runs scored, outscoring Michigan 5-0 after the 7th inning.
and I love to see this. The whole Michigan dugout clears every time they take the field. And the players who don't need to warm up or throw around, they just play a game of duck, duck, goose in left field. Is keep it loose, keep it fun. Michigan's dugout has a ton of energy. Even in games when they're down big, they seem to be up on the fence cheering loud, really making this home field advantage worth it. And the fans, once again, it's only families and parents at the game today, but pretty good showing if I had to say.
And as we resume play, it's going to be Ohio State's 6, 7, and 8 batters up this inning, with Colton Bauer starting us off in the 6th hole, and Weston throws an off-speed pitch in for a strike to start him off. No balls, 1 strike, no outs.
And that might be one of the factors in keeping Weston in, is he'll face this very weak end of the lineup.
Yes, extremely dominant over them. Well, Brookman has 1 hit, but besides Brookman, the 6 through the 9 batters are a combined 1 for 7, including Brookman. They're 1 for 7, and so Weston has just dominated them today. As I was saying that, he's thrown 2 straight balls, make the count 2-1 on Colton Bauer.
Exactly, and the batting average of the 6 through 9 hitters is 227, 0.095, and then a 0 batting average, and then .210.
Weston struggling with his command a little bit in the last 3 pitches. 3 straight balls, 3-1 count. Colton Bauer, again, at the plate, hitting .227 on the year. Pretty good sample size, 17 hits as well. Weston deals down the third base line, is a ground ball, gets it, throws to first, and Molfetta was able to get it to Obertop, and that is an out.
Made it look easy, plenty of time too.
Oh, yes. Got it, routinely threw it to first, straight to the glove in the chest of Overtop. And that is 1 out with Archer Brookman coming to the plate. Brookman hit to left field last time for a single. And starts him off with a ball here.
Only 2 hits on the season, so 50% of his hits come in today's game.
Weston deals. Strike call on off-speed pitch. 81 mile per hour slider there. 1-1 count, 1 out. Again, Michigan leads 6-0 in the 7th inning. Weston throws it high and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Weston continuing to throw in the high 90 or low 90s. Fast pitches. That last one was 93.
Weston deals, and it's another high fastball at 92. Another 3-1 count to an Ohio State batter. Getting behind him, but it hasn't seemed to hurt him so far today. But again, that pitch count at 90, so he's going to want to retire them pretty quickly as he walks him. And that's Brookman reaching first base on the walk. 1 out, man on first now. And it is Kaiser stepping to the plate for Ohio State.
Michigan is up 6-0, despite Ohio State having 5 hits, and Michigan only has 7, so it's not a huge disparity in hits, but it is in runs. Michigan able to capitalize and string those hits together.
Weston throws in the dirt. First pitch, fastball low. 1 ball, no strikes. I think even if Kaiser gets on and it's men on first and second with 1 out, I think that they let him pitch to Irwin, who's the number 9 batter. Kaiser's number 8. And then if it potentially gets to the top of the order for Ohio State, they bring in one of the 2 guys warming up.
Absolutely, and He has a lot of a leash. He has a six run lead. He surrendered no runs, so
That's another ball. 2 balls, no strikes. As I said with the first batter in the inning, Bauer, uh, Weston struggling with his command in this inning. Each of the previous 2 batters reached 3 balls in their at bats, with Brookman, the last batter, reaching first base on a walk. And as I say that, Weston proves me wrong and gets a strike in there, so his command is all good, don't worry. 2-1 count, 1 out, man on first to Kaiser.
not much of a lead being taken by Brookman.
And Kaiser rips it out of play on the left side, and that will go foul. 2-2 count. Cam Weston got him where he wants him. 2 strikes. He's got 5 strikeouts on the day, so pretty in line with his season average of about 7 to 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. And he deals. That one's high, so make it a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Each of the 3 batters, Bauer, Brookman, and Kaiser, have had 3 balls in their at-bats.
Exactly, and this full count has a lot of opportunities for either team, either get a walk for Ohio State or get the second out for Michigan.
Weston deals. That's a fly ball to left field. Can O'Corn. Zimmerman catches it, throws it in. Nice and easy. Weston got him out there with 2 outs now. Runner on first with the number 9 batter, Irwin, stepping up to the plate. Nick Irwin, 0 for 1 on the day, hitting .210. Oh, and my prediction was incorrect. He is actually going to pull Weston. Weston will be pulled. Makes sense. Pitch counts up there north of 100. He's got 101 pitches.
But solid day regardless.
Extremely solid.
He had 6 2/3 innings with only 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 5 hits, and no earned runs. So
Not much more you can ask for.
exactly. Guess you could ask for that out and make it a clean 7 innings, but that was up to the manager's digression. Wasn't even his choice. He would have gone probably.
Yes. And with Brookman on first base, the worst that Weston can do is go 6 2/3 with 1 run to his name as he leaves the game, I should say, having gone 6 2/3 inning with, as you said, no earned runs. And that is, my friend, a quality start.
Absolutely. And Will Proctor comes in to pitch. He pitched a couple times this season so far. The 6'1" junior out of Manhattan Beach, California. That's right by where you're from.
Yes, it is. Nice place.
I've always wanted to visit. When I was in high school, I had a part-time job, and my paychecks were signed in Manhattan Beach. So whenever I saw anything with a postage stamp from Manhattan Beach, I got really excited.
I went there. I don't go to Manhattan Beach too often because it's about an hour drive. I hail from Los Angeles, so it's about an hour drive from Los Angeles, and Santa Monica is like 15 minutes away. But Manhattan Beach, over quarantine during, I would say March, April, June, around that time, April, May, June, around that time, they had the fluorescent waves going in the ocean with the,
really?
Some
I didn't see any of that. That
neon
sounds awesome.
algae type stuff.
That's really cool.
So made the trip there for that, which was really nice. Nice area overall. But back to baseball, Will Proctor has pitched 8 innings pitched this season, only allowing 2 runs, and he has 8 strikeouts. So 9 strikeouts per 9 innings, not too bad.
He actually pitched yesterday too, so I'm a little bit surprised they're having him come in. He came in, gave up a run yesterday. It wasn't earned, but he gave up 1 hit in 1 inning. and he had one strikeout. So I'm a little bit surprised they are having him pitch 2 days in a row. But I guess with a 6-run lead, they just need some guy to get one out potentially and
Well,
speed up this game, and that's what's needed at the moment.
yeah. Just get this out, and then you're pretty comfortable with a 6-run lead and a chance to pad that lead in the bottom half of the 7th.
In a handful of games this season, he has only gone one batter. He did that against Northwestern last weekend and against Maryland last weekend as well. With 2 outs in the 7th, I wouldn't be surprised if he does that here.
And Nick Irwin at the plate. Proctor deals, and it's a ball, 87 miles per hour, a little high. So it is 1 ball, no strikes, and 2 outs. Proctor looking for a sign and gets it, and that was a nice slider right in there. Snuck that one in. Fooled Irwin, and Irwin was caught looking. 1-1 count. Again, 2 outs. Proctor winds up, deals. And that one's going to be low, says the umpire. And so it's a 2-1 count. Proctor using his off-speed pitches often here early on in these 3 pitches that he has had so far.
Absolutely. His off speed is in the 70s.
Another low ball from Proctor as that builds the count up to 3-1. Don't really want to mess around with Irwin, because if you do and you end up walking him, then you face the top of the Ohio State batting order. And as we've said numerous times, the discrepancy between the top half and the bottom half is large. And he's just going to have to do that and face the challenge as he walks him on 5 pitches. And he will face Wilson at the top of the Ohio State batting order.
Sam Wilson, he has 1 hit today, 1 for 3. And Proctor's just trying to get out of this inning. It's 2 outs in the top of the 7th as Michigan leads 6-0.
Again, as we mentioned earlier, Ohio State 0 for 4 today with runners in scoring position. Michigan try and make it 0 for 5. Proctor deals that off-speed pitch of his, and it's working well. He has nice command of it, and just a strike sneaks it in there. 0-1 count. Not messing around with Sam Wilson here. Will Proctor on the windup and gets a swing and a miss.
That was
another off-speed pitch.
Beautiful changeup. 77 miles per hour. Got him swinging for the fences on that and completely missed.
Proctor is way ahead in the count. 0-2 now. Runners on first and second. 2 outs. And Sam Wilson at the plate. Will Proctor gets his sign. Starts his windup. Deals. Oh, he wanted that call on the inside part of the plate from that off-speed pitch, but did not get it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Just 1 pitch away from getting out of this bind, but with 2 runners on, 1 swing of the bat could make it a 3-run game as well.
And Wilson is capable of hitting the home run. He flew out to left field last time at bat. And he swings and foul tips it, or just a strikeout. Michigan will take it regardless as Ohio State strands 2. No hits that inning. No runs. 2 men left on base. Michigan goes into the bottom half of the 7th inning, up 6-0.
And coming up, we got the 7th inning stretch at the moment, but Obertop will lead off for Michigan, followed by Burden, Sims, and then Flores. And Sims has had a solid day, 2 for 2, but Obertop and Burden each have struggled a little bit, 0 for 3 apiece for both of the sophomores. Obertop, he had 2 strikeouts, 1 in the first, 1 in the third, and then a ground out in the 5th. So now he comes up in the 7th looking to get his first hit of the afternoon. But assuming the result of this game holds, Michigan will go in with a win and then take the lead in the Big Ten standings over Ohio State and have the series tied at 1-1 and potentially be broken tomorrow, assuming the weather allows it.
Yes, tomorrow's game will be pretty important then. But we've still got the last 2 innings here, so we can't get ahead of ourselves now.
Very true, very true.
Michigan trying to get some more insurance runs on top of the, I guess, 5 that they already have. 5 insurance runs with them being up 6-0.
And a new pitcher comes in for Ohio State. We have number 16, Wyatt Lonkar, the right-handed pitcher from another California city, Pacific Palisades. 6'5". He is quite the unit on the rubber.
And he has 2 appearances this year. 2 appearances, 5 innings pitched. So he has pitched multiple innings, and this may mean that they expect him to pitch the rest of this game, the final 2 innings,
Possibly
unless
two, yeah.
I
would presume if Ohio State takes the lead, they might put in a natural closer too.
Yes.
But absolutely, he might be doing some long relief work, especially down 6-0.
Yes.
Now
So,
would be the opportunity to do so.
yeah, and he has not given up a run in those 5 innings pitched. Only 3 hits allowed, and 5 strikeouts to go with that 5 innings pitched. Not too bad at all. Michigan's got their 4, 5, and 6 batters coming up. Obertop, Burton, and Sems. Obertop and Burton enjoying the change of pitcher, I'm sure, as they both struggled against the starting pitcher for Ohio State. Sems had some great success against him. So we'll see how this goes with the new pitcher. And he starts him off with a strike and then a ball. So it's a 1-1 count to Jimmy Obertop.
Once again, Obertop 0 for 3 today, looking for his first hit. He really wanted that one,
man.
swing and a miss.
Swung through that one. That's a 1-2 count. Wyatt Lonkar ahead in the count pretty early. He's in a rhythm just like Lonsway was, awaiting Obertop to step in the box, and right as he does, fires off-speed pitch, ground ball. Oh, man, through the 5-6 hole between the third baseman and the shortstop. That's a single for Jimmy Obertop.
Absolutely, and that's his first hit of the game as he gets a leadoff hit to begin the 7th inning. And right now, any runs would just be insurance runs, up 6. It's not necessary, but it's fantastic to put the game even more out of reach. I know there's bad blood against these rivalry teams.
Oh, and that's a shot to center field off the bat of Ted Burton, but caught by the center fielder. And Lonkar retires Ted Burton. And now it is Ben Sems up at the plate with 1 out and a runner on first base.
Sims, between Sims and Bertram, they've been the 2 best batters today for Michigan. Sims is 2 for 2 with 2 singles and 2 runs as well. Him and then Bertram a few batters later have been a good tandem. He gets on base and then Bertram has hit him home.
Exactly. It works out well. And that's a ball to start out Ben Sims. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, man on first base for Michigan. Wyatt Lonkar, the 6'4", as you said, pitcher, looking down on the batter, and that's a pop-up out of play. Oh, hitting a car right behind us.
And
setting
the
off
car
the car
alarm
alarm
goes off. That's totally not going to get annoying.
I don't know why anyone would park so close to the stadium when they know that there's a game, and the foul balls just, every time I watch the foul balls just hit a car.
Exactly.
And that's a fly ball into left field. Pretty easily gotten by Kaiser, and he sets him down. Sems flew out to left field for the 2nd out just now. And that brings up Tito Flores, who last time at bat sent a shot to left field, but it was foul. So if he can straighten that out this time up, then that can maybe extend Michigan's lead. He's 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts along with a walk, though. And a runner goes, and that's going to be a stolen base for Obertop.
I believe that's his first of the season, too.
It is. First attempt also.
The stolen base, yeah. Lancourt, unlike the previous 2 pitchers for Ohio State, hasn't been too focused on the base runner, focusing on the batter, and it allowed a free base, gets him out of a force out and into scoring position.
Tito Flores looks at a strike called on the inside part of the plate. That brings the count to 1-1 with 2 outs. But now Michigan, with a runner in scoring position, Obertop, could score on a single, particularly into right center field, as there's a massive gap with the center fielder shading over to the left side. Ohio State, big shifting team. And that's a scorching ground ball to the left side. Obertop running around third, and he's going to score easily standing. Tito Flores comes through for Michigan as Michigan extends that lead with another insurance run up 7-0.
Absolutely, and that was a beautiful slap shot by Tito, and it just got through the hole. As he goes to first, and Danny Zimmerman's at the plate. And this puts the game further and further out of reach for the Buckeyes.
And that shows just how important that stolen base was for Obertop, because without that, it would be first and third and Zimmerman up at the plate. But because they got those wheels rolling, and that's what Michigan's been doing this entire game, taking advantage of Ohio State's inability to stop the base runners from advancing.
Exactly, and manufacturing runs.
Completely.
Ooh.
Zimmerman swung through it, but was hit. But he swung, so that is a strike there on a 70-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch. Really wanted that one, I guess.
Yeah, only 70 miles per hour. It's a juicy meatball. Just broke and hit him right in the shin. But comparatively, that's pretty light. Some guys getting hit with 95-mile-per-hour fastballs. Much rather get the 70-mile-per-hour changeup.
Yes. Unfortunately, no base for him, though, as he swung through it. Counts 0-1, 2 outs. And that's in the dirt. And another opportunity for Michigan to advance a runner on a base as Flores takes the chance and takes advantage of it. And he is now on second base. And I would presume that a single by Danny Zimmerman would score Flores once again.
Absolutely. Flores has some legs, so he definitely could, depending on where it's placed, could definitely imagine him scoring on a single.
Another bouncing pitch from Longcar, but catcher Brookman was able to secure it and just block it in front of him. But that will bring the count to 2-1 as Longcar looking for a sign. Again, Tito Flores on second. Danny Zimmerman at the plate. 2-1 fires, and that's going to be a ball inside. 3-1 count to Zimmerman.
And a walk here might not be the worst thing. At least it adds a force out at any square base. But at this point, they just want an out, get out of this inning, stop the bleeding, potentially put some runs up in the next inning.
Zimmerman looks at ball 4, as it looks like Longcar's been struggling with his command for that at-bat at least. Couldn't really get it going. And as I say that, Ohio State sends someone to start warming up. They don't want this game to get even more out of reach than it already is.
Absolutely. And this long relief guy, not quite doing his job if he gives up a run and then puts 2 additional base runners on.
Mm-hmm.
You're just trying to get out of this game, and even if you can't win, just stop the bleeding, and he's unable to do that so far.
And now Michigan's hottest player is at the plate in Riley Bertram, 3 for 3 on the day with 3 RBI and 2 runs. What a day for Riley Bertram.
Absolutely.
As the first pitch was a called ball. So it is a 1-0 count to Bertram. Runners on first and second. Bertram looks at that one as well, but that one will be called a strike.
The clouds begin shifting in. You could tell that it's going to rain in a few hours. 2:28 p.m. It was supposed to start today's game at 2.
That's an off-speed pitch in the dirt.
They pushed ahead the start time 2 hours until noon to potentially get the game finished with. So as of now, it's past 5 innings. It's a game of record, even if it has to be canceled. But they should be able to get the full 9 innings in today.
Ground ball to first baseman, and Pohl has got it. Steps on first, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 7th inning. Michigan extends their lead to 7 with 1 run on 2 hits, and no errors for Ohio State as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Michigan leading 7-0.
And we got, I believe Proctor's coming back out, so we got that third of an inning last game. And he's looking to potentially extend that. I have a feeling the additional run in the 7th by the Michigan offense might have contributed to that. It gave him some more room to work with, build on that. He pitched an inning yesterday, too, so I'm a bit surprised you're going to have him go a bit further today, but he's only doing a couple innings of relief, not a strenuous start. And it's good training, too, for the potentially a postseason run by the Wolverines in the College World Series and in the postseason and the tournament, the Big Ten tournament. That's important to have a lot of relief guys who are able to go on back-to-back days potentially, just get an inning or two where they could come in and come out pretty cleanly. So it's good practice for that.
100%. By shortening the game and bringing in your relievers for those matchup or bringing them in for the matchups that you have against the opposing team's batters, you can really take advantage of those matchups if you have solid relievers.
Yeah, absolutely. But Proctor's trying to develop into that role, too. Mitchell Oakley is up. He had a walk in the first inning and then a strikeout in the 5th and a ground out in the 3rd. Comes to the plate now with no runners on. Michigan up 7-0 in the top of the 8th. Pitches in. It is a changeup for a strike. Right down the pipe. Proctor gets set. Pitches in. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Proctor's great at these off-speed pitches. Really gets the batter swinging for the fences on him. 3rd pitch is coming up. Wind up in the pitch. Bit outside. 1-2 is the count. Proctor, he gave up 1 walk last inning, but also got a strikeout in the 2 batters he faced. Now he faces Oakley in the 8th. Pitches in. And that's another ball slightly outside. 2-2. Taking a lot of time to get set. Goes into a windup. And points over to the 3rd base. He did not go. It'll be a full count. Umpire at 3rd did not say Oakley extended his bat. Went far enough to be called the swing. And it'll be 3-2. Full count with 0 outs in the top of the 8th. Wind up in the pitch. And this is a foul tip ball. Kind of bounces over to the Ohio State dugout. On deck, Zinzo grabs it.
Oakley really making Proctor work here. The 3-2 count. It's been that count for a little bit now.
Yep. Here's the windup and the pitch. And this one's a bit low, and he'll take first base. So he worked hard to get that walk, but it paid off.
Now the heart of Ohio State's batting order is up with their 3, 4, and then bottom half of the order. But DeZenzo and Kern at 3 and 4, they're two best hitters. So Proctor's got a real challenge ahead of him with a man on and those two guys coming up to the plate.
Absolutely. Michigan is shifting once again pretty heavily for DeZenzo on the left side of the infield. Petitioner trying to turn 2. Pitches in. 85-mile-per-hour fastball. Bit high for a ball 1. It's been a couple of innings since Ohio State has been able to get a hit. And grounder to shortstop, over to second, throws to first for the double play. 6-4-3, and Michigan cleans the base path and gives a lot of help to Will Proctor. That was heads-up play by Sims, and the real MVP of the game has been the positioning and the shifting of the head coach. It seems like every time they do it, I'm pretty surprised. And the next pitch, pretty much, it's hit right into where they were positioned.
Exactly. And that ball was hit pretty softly, and so I wasn't expecting them to be able to turn that, but they were. Bertram fired it to first and got him out there.
Absolutely. Pitch is in, and it's a ball against Cade Kern. He's 1 for 3. Had a single in the 4th. Did hit into a double play, however, in the first inning with 2 outs now. Swing and a hard hit ball into the gap and left center, and running on the run is Rogers, who makes the catch and ends the inning for Michigan. No runs, no hits, no runners left on base. Michigan leads 7-0.
Great job.
Rogers showing his speed. It looked like it might drop in the warning track, but in left center he was on the run and made the catch.
And great communication with him and Zimmerman, as that ball was pretty much in the center between them. But Rogers calling out, mine, and Zimmerman peeling off. Rogers able to get that ball.
Exactly. And now coming up next inning, it's going to begin with Rogers at the plate. So he got the last out, and he'll be the first at bat.
And Wyatt Longcar, as we predicted, coming out for multiple innings. He returns out to the mound for Ohio State.
And barring any big surprises, this will be Michigan's last half inning at the plate. They have a 7-0 lead going into this half inning. So unless they give up at least 7, they will not come back in the 9th. Once again, a line car seeming to be the deep relief. No one warming up in the Ohio State pen. So it seems like this will be who finishes the game for them. I guess if they mount a comeback, they might find someone else to come in for the bottom of the 9th. But Michigan has 2 players loose in their own pen. I'm curious if they put someone else in to do the top of the 9th and close the game out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was mistaken when I said that Longcar is back. It is Ethan Hammerberg who's taking his place.
Ethan Hammerberg, he has a quite high ERA. He has a 13.50 ERA this season. 2 innings pitched, given up 4 runs, 2 2/3 innings pitched. 5 strikeouts in those innings. So he has some experience right now, potentially get some experience here. Against the top of Michigan's lineup, it's going to be tough. But they've been somewhat quiet today. Rogers is up, He's 1 for 3. Then Molfetta had that home run, but he's only 1 for 3 also. Mazur's 0 for 4. Obertop's 1 for 4. Burton's 0 for 4. So Rogers is up against Hammerberg. Pitches in, outside, 1-0.
Michigan's offense doing much better than Ohio State's today. Michigan hit 9 for 30 today, batting .300, whereas Ohio State is 5 for 26, only hitting .192.
Absolutely. But in terms of the hits, Michigan has 9 hits and 7 runs. Ohio State 5 hits and no runs. So Michigan done a good job keeping those runs from scoring for Ohio State. Pitches in, fouled off, 2-1 count. It goes deep back onto the first base parking lot.
I think the difference maker in this game was Michigan's ability to get runners in scoring position when they just were walked or got a single or whatever it was.
This one is put into play. Deep shot to right field, tracking under it's Oakley, and he makes the grab for 1 out.
Because the difference between the two teams with runners in scoring position, Michigan has had 15 at-bats with a man on at least second base, whereas Ohio State only has 5. And even though Michigan isn't converting a lot of those opportunities, they're hitting .267, which not bad at all. They're 4 for 15, whereas Ohio State is 0 for 5. So taking advantage of that opportunity has been massive.
On the first pitch, grounded to third, scooped up by Urban, thrown over to Pohl for the second out. That was Molfetta. He had a home run in the 6th inning, unable to replicate that now, and quickly 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. This game is moving quite along. It's only been 2 hours and 40 minutes. Yesterday's game took quite a while. It took 3 hours, 25 minutes of game time. This game, in all likelihood, could be finished and under the 3-hour mark. Definitely a good move to move it earlier, get this game in before the rain as Mazur comes up. Heavy shift in the infield from Ohio State. Second base and shortstop both have stepped a handful of steps to the left. Some exchanges between head coach Bakic and the umpire. I'm curious what they're discussing.
While we're looking at that, I just want to say on that ground ball by Molfetta, the exit velocity, I know we're bringing this up a little bit, but the exit velocity was 110 miles per hour. So that was a rocket to the third baseman, but right to him, unfortunately, for Michigan.
And Mazur comes on out. Yeah, 110 miles per hour. That's like a major league exit velocity right there.
Aaron Judge or Giancarlo Stanton type.
Exactly, but just a rocket right to the infield. First pitch, low, and it will be ball 1. Mazur's had 0 for 4 on the afternoon. 2 strikeouts and then 2 groundouts. Second pitch is in. This one's low also. 2-0 count. Taking his time is Hammerberg. Done a pretty decent job of getting out of this inning so far. Third pitch is high. 3-0 count. And prior to this at bat, Hammerberg only threw 5 pitches and got 2 outs. No runners allowed. But he's already thrown 3 straight balls against Mazur. And that's a strike. So 3-1.
Hammerberg significantly lowering his ERA this inning.
Absolutely. And now that's a ball. Or strike.
That was a late call by the umpire.
Yeah, Mazur was already a couple steps towards first. And then umpire rug it up for a full count now. But you're right, when Hammerberg only had 2.2 innings pitched until now, his ERA was 13.5. Now it's already down to 10.8. Pitch is in, fouled off. Just like the low sample size he's had this season, just having 2 straight groundouts is all he needed to lower it 3 points. The bottom of the ninth, Michigan up 7-0. Full count, two strikes, 3 balls, 2 outs. The pitch from Hammerberg on Ohio State. And that one will be ball 4, giving him first base. And now Jimmy Obertop, he's 1 for 4 today, comes to the plate.
Wonder if Michigan will still be risky on the base paths, try to advance the runner, Mazer, from first to second here.
I guess there's kind of an unwritten rule you shouldn't be too greedy when you're up by more than a handful of runs, especially against a long reliever, just like someone like Hammerberg. But you never know. It is collegiate. This is a historic rivalry. They might be eager to run up the score or whatever. Pitches in, swing and a miss. They're going to say it's a foul tip, actually, but caught by the catcher. So it's a 1-1 count. This is a historic rivalry between the two teams. Kind of see if I could pull up the all-time series record. Michigan leads 166 to 101 against Ohio State. Pitches in another ball, 2-1 count. They have 6 ties, and they have been playing for an incredibly long time, since 1895. So it has been 125 seasons, a century and a quarter. Pickoff play back to first. He's safe. In recent games, OSU has done quite well. They have won 6 of their last 7 contests, including a 2-1 victory in the Big Ten tournament in 2019. Swing and a miss from Obertop, 2-2 count. However, Michigan did get the last laugh in 2019. Although they didn't win the Big Ten tournament, Michigan did go on and be the national runners-up in the College World Series. Next pitch coming in. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Solid outing for Hammerberg, brings his ERA down again. And this Michigan had 0 runs, 0 hits, 1 runner left on base that inning. And as Michigan goes to the top of the ninth, they look to close out this game as they lead 7-0.
And there's a new relief pitcher coming into the game for Michigan. We'll provide who it is once we see his number.
I believe
29 is Blake Beers. What a last name, Beers. He has a 7.5 ERA. He has 5 appearances, and they're all starts. So rare for him to come out of the bullpen here.
Yeah, this is an interesting use of him. I guess if he's only going 1 inning, and there's only 3 games being played this weekend, so normally he'd be the 4th starter if needed. But I guess they figured they might as well lock in this win with him, get him loose, keep him warm for next weekend. But
yeah, good to give him his time, especially in a stress-free appearance like this, up by 7 runs in the final inning.
If Michigan could hold on to this win, it would. Ohio State has a 5-0 winning streak. This would put an end to that. Next weekend, Ohio State goes to College Park, plays a 3-game series against Maryland, and then returns home to Columbus on Friday, April 23rd for a series against Penn State. On the other hand, Michigan, they go on the road next weekend to play against Minnesota, and then we'll return home and play against Rutgers on April 23rd. And then goes on the road once again to Evanston to play Northwestern. on April 30th and May 1, and then stays in Evanston to play Illinois. Kind of an interesting matchup there. They play the two Illinois teams in the Big Ten. Then they go to East Lansing for a 3-game series against Michigan State. Then return home for 2 series against Indiana on May 14th, Maryland on May 21st, both at home in Ann Arbor. Then finally finish off the season in Lincoln, Nebraska against the Cornhuskers. They are currently at the top of the Big Ten standings. Michigan with a win today would put them solely in control of second place, but it's neck and neck. Nebraska is 14-5. Michigan with a win would be 14-7.
Full game behind Nebraska in the loss column. With a lot of games left on the schedule, not too hard to make their way up to the top.
Absolutely.
And Blake Beers starts us off in the top of the 9th inning with a called strike on Connor Pohl. Connor Pohl, the number 5 batter for Ohio State. Ohio State's got 5, 6, and 7 up this inning, all seniors. That's a swing and a miss from Pohl. Beers with the off-speed pitch got him fooled a little bit. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Michigan leads 7-0 in the top of the 9th inning. Beers shaking off the catcher, then looking for a sign and gets it. And he's trying, and it's a foul ball into the left field bullpen of Michigan. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Pohl is 1 for 3 on the day, just a single. He also has a strikeout and a ground out to Obertop at first base. Beers gets his sign, and he fires home, and that's a shot right back up the middle. This time the shift does not pay off for Michigan, as the shortstop Sems was on the wrong side of second base. They were playing the pole and not the opposite side.
He wouldn't have gotten there anyway. That was right up the middle, and it had an exit velocity of 105 miles per hour. Beers is really throwing some heat, though. That pitch was 96 miles per hour itself. That's faster than many major leaguers go, even.
That's the fastest that we've seen today.
Yep.
All right, so now we have a runner on first. Beers throws a strike to Colton Bauer. As I was saying, runner on first, nobody out. Now the count is no balls and 1 strike to Colton Bauer. Colton Bauer 0 for 3 on the day. He's hitting .224 and is a regular starter for Ohio State. Another swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch down low. That'll make the count no balls and 2 strikes for the second straight batter. Beers gets his sign, throws in the dirt. Oh, runner's going. Throw down to second, and he got him. Oh, what a throw.
Incredible play.
Mazer with the laser.
That was a bit of a delayed steal by the runner at first. I'm surprised he even went. He saw that he dropped it, but it wasn't out of his reach. So he quickly picked it up, and Pohl was thrown out.
Yeah, it was in the dirt. He was deciding whether to go or not, and that hesitation really worked against him and in the favor of Michigan. Michigan now 1-2 count, 1 out. And that's another pass ball this time. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Colton Bauer at the plate.
And with 1 out, that really kills any chance at a comeback practically with that leadoff base runner.
Another ball coming from Blake Beers. That makes the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Not much to worry about with no runners on base, just can focus in on the batter.
Absolutely. Gets an out and helps the peace of mind. Win-win for Michigan in that respect.
Beers fires at the plate, but again it's low. That is a walk as Colton Bauer heads over to first base. Now that caught stealing, I guess, playing a big role, as it would be a little dicier, one could say, if it was first and second with nobody outs and Ohio State gaining momentum. They could have a rally, but now with one out, it's even unlikelier that they even scratch the possibility of coming back.
I'm a little bit surprised right now Archer Brookman's up at the plate. I'm surprised they did not pinch hit for him. He has a batting average of .095. He's a catcher. He isn't the best hitter. In this game where it's out of reach, I wouldn't be surprised. It seems like a great opportunity to put someone in,
Yeah,
give one of their
especially they
bench
could,
batters a chance at the plate.
yes, especially they could play the matchup, put in the lefty, go lefty-righty.
Exactly.
But they chose not to, and they have Brookman at the plate for a 1-1 count right now. Beers fires home, and that's a strike. He's ahead in the count 1-2. So again, we have a 1-2 count with one out, with a runner on first base. The runner is Colton Bauer after he worked a walk.
And potentially one swing of the bat could end this game with a double play.
That's a line drive off to the right. And that, again, hit a car in the parking lot.
Geico must love this stadium, giving them lots of claims.
Oh, yeah. Someone's just asking for their windshield to be, like, broken if they just park in this parking lot. Back to baseball, whatever. So, 1-2 count, pop up. That one is in fair territory. And second baseman Bertram is under it. And he gets it. That was in the air for quite a long time. That is 2 outs now. And Michigan, again, leading 7-0. 2 outs. Runner on first is Bauer, and the batter is Kaiser.
Kaiser has yet to record a hit this season. He has one walk. Today he's 0 for 3. Okay, so they have a pinch hitter actually coming in for Kaiser. Number 14. Carafa.
Sophomore batting 111. Little better than Kaiser's 0.
So I guess I was on to something last batter to mention having a pinch runner.
And he fires, and that's low. Blake Beers threw a ball just now, so that makes the count 1-1 with 2 outs.
Nate Carafa, 6'0", the right-handed batter from Toronto, Ohio. Not Toronto, Ontario, Toronto, Ohio.
Beers gets his sign, and he fires to the plate. That's a ground ball to the second baseman Bertram. He just steps on the bag, and that will do it, folks. One man left on base. No runs, no hits, no errors. Michigan finishes this game up 7-0, and they won the hit column 9-6. And Ohio State finished with 1 error to Michigan 0. Again, Michigan wins the game at home 7-0 in the second game of this 3-game set, with the rubber match coming tomorrow afternoon.
And Michigan, they get that combined shutout right there. Very solid performance from all of Michigan's pitchers today. And as you mentioned, they will play, assuming weather permitting, they will play tomorrow at 4 p.m. Weston gets the win, and the loss goes to Lonsway, who is 1-4 on the season, while Weston is 4-1. This game lasted 2 hours and 55 minutes. And thank you for tuning in to WCBN Sports with Adam Bressler and Zach Korzen. We will be covering tomorrow's game beginning at 4 p.m. with Zach Korzen be back at it with Jared Greenspan. So thank you for tuning in, and tune in tomorrow on Sunday.